Alright, and as usual, we're now live, so welcome back to the GM's Dice. Tonight is the first game of a Force and Destiny trilogy that I'm going to be running. It's going to be using the adventure from the core book, the Game Masters set, and the beginner game set. I've wanted to run a few of these for a while, and my home group has no interest in them or time to play them. But I'm going to run them for you guys.
Thank you.
I've had to modify the opening for each one of them, and this one I think is probably going to have the longest opening out of all of them, just setting up the story for everyone. But as soon as I get the opening read, I will give you all a chance to introduce yourselves, your characters, and plug any channels that you want to plug, and then we'll get started full-fledged. But it starts out, your Janilsa Satre is your master's name. She's a Zabrak woman in her late 30s, pale of skin, keeps her hair pulled up in a top knot, jet black hair, surrounded by a crown of horns. She's found each of you at different times in your life and brought you here to the Ascension, a Corvette-class star cruiser from the old Republic era. You are all found at different times, at different places, and at different ages. But for the last year, Satre has been going on missions again, leaving you in charge of your own training for short periods of time. However, this time, you've not heard from her. It's been over a month since she left. This is not normal. She would normally contact you once every standard week. It's been so long that she is thought to be dead, but hope still lives in you. You are left with a wealth of contacts and knowledge that Satre would have stored here on the ship. But one thing that you have all learned early was to always look for a way to learn from what you do and to recruit and retrieve every Jedi or holocron you come in contact with. It's one of the first tenets that Satre would have taught you. So we start out, the camera comes on, the screen lights up, and you can see the black of space with this purplish sort of orange cloud of dust and smoke and debris floating in the black of space. As the camera zooms in, the smoke envelops the camera and it continues to zoom in past different debris, different asteroids, and the silhouette of this Corvette-class cruiser comes into view. The screen wipes. It comes to 4 fairly young men standing in what looks to be some sort of training hall that has been converted out of a cargo area. They're all standing around a holo table discussing what it is they're going to do next. And that's where you guys get to introduce yourselves and your characters. We'll start from my left, Alan, Joshua, Scott, and then Aaron.
Hi guys, I'm Alan from What the Dice channel. I'm going to be playing Kemadri. He's a young man, 21 years old, Neman disciple. He's human, and he is very much a compassionate person, hates seeing cruelty, suffering, bullying, and yeah, he's like a Star Wars tree hugger. That's who I'm playing.
I'm Josh. I'm playing Okaro Anaro, a Syrian armorer from the new Keeping the Peace book. I run the Heartsfire Saga game with Tides of Change, and this character is he's the more cautious one of the bunch. He's also the youngest of the bunch. Doesn't want to disappoint anyone, but at the same time, he tends to err on the side of caution, and also because of that, sometimes comes across as a bit cold to some people.
I'm Scott, and I'm going to be playing Andral Vate. He's about a 20-year-old Togruta, and he's sort of a wanderer, an explorer. He tends to be a bit the opposite of Josh in that he's very enthusiastic, and sometimes that can get him in trouble because he borders on recklessness.
Hello, I'm Aaron Bryan from Table Knights Entertainment. How are y'all doing? I am playing Carter Cadence today, a man of 23 and full of ambition, but he does have a weakness and a tendency towards greed. He's this very smart individual, though. He knows a lot about the old lore of the galaxy, and that's what interested him the most as a young man. And he is super invested in the recovery of holocrons, and hopefully he runs across some here. Please donate to Child's Play. Thank you.
Alright, so that leads in. The four of you are standing around this hollow table discussing what to do next. And Drawl is sort of speaking up above everybody, talking about we've waited too long already. It's time for us to lead out. We need to be looking for new ways of learning, and above all, for Master Satre. And about that time is when the hollow table would burst to life, and an image of a man in his late middle ages, or late middle-aged, sort of short and portly, shows up standing in front of you, and he's, "Oh, my friends, where is Master Satre?"
We have much the same question. She's been gone for nearly a standard month now, and we worry for her.
It has indeed been a long time since we spoke. However, I've come across something that she and hopefully you would find interesting. And the hollow view would sort of pan back and look down and across a table that's scattered with all sorts of stuff. And you'd hear his voice again say, I've found this in the archives at Fellar University. The crystallization in the stone, it reminds me of stories about lightsaber crystals and the such. And the engravings, they seem to be several thousand years old. His voice sort of gets broken and hushed, and he says, I prefer not to speak more on here. The Empire does tend to censor our communications, but if you can meet me here on Eridu, I can show you this in person. You just need to make sure you obtain some credentials. The relic cannot be removed from the university archives, and you need to be an accredited scholar to gain access. Not that it'll prove to be a problem for you four, I think. The camera pans back up to him, and you see he's got the sort of a crap-eaten smile on his face, laughing at his own little poke at not being a problem for you guys. And he says, but either way, you need to come quickly. We've much to discuss. And the holo message sort of goes to static for a moment, and on the console on the table rolls by a comlink number, and the coordinates for the university and the planet of Eridu.
I copy these down.
Andral exchanges a look with Kamadri, and almost unconsciously his hand goes down to the hilt of his training saber, and he says basically, this is an opportunity.
Of course.
Or it's a trap.
Opportunities. that is also highly a possibility.
Do we know this individual that was on the hologram?
Oh, I would imagine you do. I mean, this is someone who Master Satre had spoken to often and worked with quite often. You'd recognize the name, I think, more than anything.
Gotcha.
I mean, she spoke pretty highly of him.
Okay.
But as far as if anybody would actually recognize him or have met him, I'd say I'd probably leave that up to the four of you as to whichever one of you might have been sort of teacher's pet.
I would totally be teacher's pet.
I second that motion.
Oh, wait. No, that's not what I meant.
But yeah, it's somebody you would definitely know the name, and the one, if not both of you, would probably recognize him. But feel free to discuss amongst yourselves as to whether or not you're going to take up his offer.
I have a question.
Okay.
We saw the item he was speaking about in the holo vid, right?
Yeah, you would have. Well, the table was scattered with stuff. There a couple of old almost pyramid type shaped, but sort of cut off flat on one end.
Mm-hmm.
That have got different carvings on them. There was a crystalline talisman type of necklace that was the main thing mentioned. You would have seen an old battle helmet with a T'ed visor with sort of burn marks cutting through it.
Could
And
I make a
plenty of other things.
Oh, sorry.
But there's plenty of other stuff, but that's the main things of interest.
Could I make a lore check to see if I recognize any of these items and details on them?
Yeah, you could make the check. I mean, it's going to be pretty difficult. These things were mentioned as being thousands of years old.
Okay.
But you could make the check if you want and see. I would say that just to go ahead and give you guys a light side point, I'm going to use one dark side. And on top of it being a daunting check, it's going to be 3 purple and 1 red. Wow.
2 success. I have 4 intellect and 2 lore knowledge. So.
Wow. All right. So you would recognize the helmet right off the bat as being of Mandalorian make or style. you would recognize one of the pieces that was sitting there as being a broken holocron of some type. And the necklace you would recognize that the crystal on it is in fact probably the same type of crystal that lightsabers are made from, or that the lightsaber crystals are.
So it's a kyber crystal of some kind.
Yeah, that or an Ilum crystal or something like that. But just from the glance through a hollow, you wouldn't be positive, but you'd be pretty sure.
Okay. I turn to the rest of the group and I say, those items seem. I can't tell across a holovid, but they look legitimate as far as I can tell. I would like to research them further, and this would give us a chance to find our master, possibly.
Master Satre spoke in high regard of this gentleman, so I think we should make all haste and go and investigate these items. Perhaps they could further our training.
Much agreed.
Absolutely.
Surian speaks up at that point and says, we got to be careful, though, because what if... he even mentioned that the Empire could be tapping his comms. That could be how the Master got caught in the first place. So we need to exercise caution.
Then we shall be quieter.
Yes, I think we should, as quietly as possible, without trying to draw unwanted attention, proceed to Aradu.
So, this guy seems to think it won't be difficult for us to get the credentials we need to go. Do we think that would be is that something that we've actually have the contacts to do? Yeah, but just because you're a sage, we've been sequestered here, so, like, getting the credentials is...
I'm being an asshole.
Oh.
Well, Carter could possibly look sort of the role just because of what career and specialization he is. He could possibly. But it's one of those things that you guys could probably pretty easily forge some IDs as long as you had access to what the IDs looked like and a computer.
All right.
If push comes to shove, and I'm the only one that can get through reasonably, I can say you guys are my attendants.
Well, I can easily pull the part of security.
Okay.
I've got the armor for it.
Who's driving the ship, by the way?
That might be part of why we're parked.
Well,
Astromech droid?
The cruiser does have a couple of passenger skiffs that do have hyperdrive systems. They're sort of like mini yachts.
Okay.
Yeah, showing up on one of those would probably look a little bit less conspicuous than actually flying the cruiser to the planet. Is this, as a seat of learning, does this place attract like Syrians and Togruta and other species, or is it pretty much humans only? I'm just thinking about the way to play this.
The college, it's going to have a wide array of students, of races, but the majority of them would be probably human because it is an imperial college.
Mm. In that case, I would suggest that at least, we could have security, and I would be some sort of research assistant or something like that. Just a kind of water carrier type.
Yup. You're the gopher.
So when we set up the credentials, I say we make it where Kim Audrey is the actual researcher, and that Carter is a specialist of some kind that he's brought with him. So the two of you are the human interactions, and the two of us will have assistant/security roles and that kind of thing.
This sounds all like good plan.
That works for me, brother.
Many, yes.
Okay,
And-
quick question. Since you said we've got this ship, is there like an extra blaster pistol that I can use? I don't care if it works. I just want one that looks the part for security. Because I don't want to wear my lightsaber on my hip for this.
You can flip a destiny point and say yes.
Ah.
Gotcha.
Ah.
Gotta have one.
He's a bad man, isn't he?
Ah.
Do it.
Alright, so we've
Already back
a
to the
lightsaber.
side.
Yeah. We've got a blaster pistol that'll let me look the part, basically, of a security guy.
Okay, and it does work. It's a light blaster pistol.
Okay.
And as far as who would be piloting, if none of you want to pilot it,
Not me.
I can easily say that it is droid equipped for a pilot, as most of your ship is droid equipped. The cruiser that you're on now, you are the only 4 living beings on it at the moment.
That is a lonely existence.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
We must enjoy the heck out
Less
of it.
distractions for our studies, brother.
Yeah, the cruiser you're in actually doesn't even fly. It's broken down in this cloud.
That's kind of awesome.
That is kind of cool.
Alright.
All right, so I pack our things and put them inside of the little jettison space yacht, and I usher everybody on board.
Okay. Well, you guys board, and after getting all your stuff ready that you think you may need, and about 2 days later, you arrive at a planet that you can see through your viewports that is sort of a yellowish orange cloud that covers the planet. And as you descend further through the cloud, you can see all sorts of industrial areas that go for as far as the eye can see. But there is one area that's got all sorts of green grass and trees and buildings that look like stores or apartments, and at one end of it you can see the college. It's got a lot of newer looking buildings, but there is one central building that just screams Old Republic. And it's just this tall spire of a building that's probably close to 1,000 feet in height.
Before getting off of the yacht, I'm gonna leave my weapons behind because I just have an ancient sword, so that's not gonna look great. And I'm just gonna walk out in my robes.
Actually, I got a better idea.
Oh,
Yeah, on the way here, I want to, based on the holovid that we had of the artifacts, I want to inscribe similar-looking images or runes in the ancient swords that Carter and Kamadi use,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
set up
Yeah.
a crate to where we are transporting similar artifacts for comparison's sake, basically. So that we have them if we end up needing them, even if they are in a little crate, basically.
Now I'm embarrassed because I prostrated myself as the one with the plan and when to do that. God dang, dude.
All right.
that's-
I got the intelligence, and I'm the armorer. So like y'all are thinking like the plan. I'm like, well, here's the prop we need. So
That's beautiful.
Awesome.
Well, you're the armorer, so I'm going to give you the fact that you're able to inscribe runes that are similar in nature to the ones you saw.
Right. I mean, from age, they're
But-
not going to stand up to huge scrutiny. I know that. It's just more of a. It gives us like a part of the cover story, like because we still got to get the credentials set up, which I don't know how we're going to pull that off, but at least now we've got a reason for being here to go with the credentials.
But that's gonna probably. Oh, let's see. Make me a
Mechanics.
either mechanics or skullduggery, because I mean you're trying to make a crate out of stuff that's on the yacht to make it look like you're transporting artifacts.
Okay.
So I mean I'm just having a hard time picturing stuff that you would be able to use to make the crate, basically.
Okay.
And you don't have a point to spend to do it, so
We're just ripping apart interior plate.
Worst case scenario, we can just wrap them in cloth.
yeah.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
That is true.
All right. What difficulty you want me to roll for to see how convincing a setup I can make for this?
One purple, one red.
All right. And
Based on this being sort of an act of deception, can I assist?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll allow you for you guys to assist and give you a boost dice for it.
Okay. Well,
that goes to boost, right? For because you're a Togruta.
correct. Yeah. So.
Right. I'm double checking a talent I have to see if it affects this. It's Gearhead. I'm trying to find it.
Okay.
Just from the name of it, I don't think it would probably.
One problem whenever you got with picking a talent from one of these expanded trees is you can never remember which book the original talent is printed in.
It's one reason the generator's great. All the information's right there.
Yeah, except for keeping the peace talent trees haven't been updated on it yet.
Well, yeah, the new stuff hasn't updated to it yet.
Alright, so Gearhead, it removes 1 setback dice from all mechanic checks, and the credit cost to add mods is decreased by 50%. Okay, so it doesn't really help here directly, although it does kind of indicate that I am the jury rigger when it comes to coming up with something. 4 successes and an advantage.
All right, yeah, you are easily able to get a hold of a leftover crate in the yacht and make it look like it comes from another place of
University
learning,
or-
another university or something.
Okay.
And
We just got to figure out how we're going to get the credentials now.
you've got to get a hold of somehow either of someone else's ID so you can modify it, or a Star Wars equivalent to the PDF that you can make your own. And a
Alan, what's your
computer.
character's name?
Kemadri.
The Matri?
Kemadri.
Cam Matri.
Call
Sorry.
me Kem.
Cam. All right. I turn to Cam and I say, your fingers are light, are they not?
No, my fingers are normal, but I can be very persuasive. Find somebody with the credentials, perhaps. I could talk them into letting us borrow them for a short while.
Then we shall begin looking. And
Is there a place where students rest and seek recreation anywhere about?
most likely the student union.
Like with any college, I mean, you'd assume that there's probably places off campus that students go. You could make a What is it? You make it an education or a lore check to see if
I'll do it.
you would know anything about Eridu.
All right. What's the difficulty?
Go with hard difficulty.
3 perps.
Yep, 3 purple.
And we're all brainstorming, so you want to count that as a assist, basically.
Oh, well.
You got the success anyway. It'd only get better with the boost.
As you're sitting around brainstorming about this area, you you're pretty sure you've read about a lively sort of night scene around here.
What sort of scene is it? Might I?
Bars and stuff like that.
All right. I let them know, and do I know of any specific bar where scholarly gentlemen prefer to indulge their time?
Not that you can think of offhand. And it's just that you remember hearing that the place has got a really lively after sundown sort of scene with the college students and all that, and that it's mostly bars and stuff like that.
All right. I turn to them and I say, as a former scholar myself, I can tell you that these people need to party at some point. So it's most likely after dark that they will be doing this. We can.
Would we not be better finding just a coffee shop that has a large selection of books to read whilst enjoying a mocha?
Perhaps. Let's attempt to do that while we wait for night.
Sounds good. Perhaps we can find an off-duty professor.
Well, you guys do also have the comm link to get a hold of Azure.
Actually, I do have a handheld comlink, yeah. I bought one.
I would probably suggest we don't contact him until we have everything we need, because the more times we contact him, the larger chance the Empire could tap in.
And also, if we can, this is good for us to try to figure out on our own if we can for future missions.
All right. So we commenced looking for a coffee shop, to commence the mocha drinking, as
All right.
Cam suggested.
Well, as you guys step off the ship, you see a bustling, urbanized planet covered in industrial sprawl, crowds of people moving about the spaceport. There's the sort of yellow-orange cloud hanging all over everything like a thick fog. And you can see that there are Imperial stormtroopers stationed on the different walkways and walking around in the crowd. A lot of the people that are moving around are wearing like the little air scrubber face masks. And almost everybody's wearing some sort of like shawl or turban type of deal.
Okay.
It looks like it's sort of the sense of fashion here at Dew.
I just want to point out something. Even though my character looks the part of bodyguard because I've got the armor and a sidearm, I mean, keep in mind, I am average for Saurians. I have 2 brawn, 1 agility. So, like, I definitely look, and because my armor's so well made, I would look the part of a scholar's bodyguard, not a crime lord's bodyguard. Because I don't really look like I know what the hell I'm doing with it, basically, compared to previous characters I've played in your games, like that Hut Marauder.
Yeah.
Well, Well, Ken will like kind of put like a reassuring hand on your shoulder and just say, "Relax, brother. Violence isn't always the way to get things done."
Well, I'm hoping it's not in this case.
Much more often, a smooth and sweet tongue will get as much purchase as a blade.
But as you guys are moving through the crowd and heading out of the spaceport, you notice that these stormtroopers, they're not really paying you a second glance. I mean, they look at you just like they're looking at everybody else, just looking around and making sure nobody's fighting or shooting or anything like that. Nobody's starting trouble. It almost seems like everybody's just lax. It's just so routine that everybody's just sort of slipping, sort of deal. But you do notice a lot of people in the crowd are wearing university badges. You know, a lot of people you're walking past and whatnot as you're walking through the crowd.
I make a mental note of that.
Yeah, Cam will approach the nearest friendly-looking one and affect his most like kind of gentle smile and just say, "Excuse me, brother. We are fellow scholars looking to slake our thirst before we head to campus. Could you recommend a good place where we might indulge in some beverages?"
And the guy turns to you. He's a human, probably age mid-40s. He turns and he looks at you. He kind of looks over you and over everybody else. He says, "Yeah," he says, "you might want to try the Tap Calf. It's down off of 33rd. It's closer to the university." He says they've got great calf down there.
Excellent. As you can see, you know, we're not looking to mingle with any ruffians or bravado types. The Tap Calf, would you say this is a quiet place to reflect and read and without getting into too much, you know, disagreements with people?
Oh yeah, it's a nice little bistro.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
As we walk there, I turn to Andral and I say, "You've been awfully quiet. Is this a bit much for you?"
Andral looks his eyes are kind of glazed a bit. He looks like he's kind of overstimulated by it all. He's looking up at the spire. He's looking at the people around him. He's looking at the badges. He doesn't quite know what to do about it all right now, but he's just kind of excited to be here and going with the flow at the moment.
I smile at him and I say.
So he kind of gives a start and he looks. "Oh, Carter, this place is amazing. Is this, you know? I mean, is this a large planet? Is this a huge settlement? I mean, like what were those clouds all about? Now this place looks like really like, you know, kind of like well kept, and so sort of like that."
And I laugh at his enthusiasm and smile, and I just talk to him about what colleges are like, and like most of them are like this in their places of learning, and I just kind of inform him of the general situation.
All right.
Yeah, most of the people you pass by here, I mean, everybody's real polite. Anybody bumps into anybody, they're automatically saying, "I'm sorry" or "excuse me." They're all dressed well, and you don't see people dress. I mean, it's not like you'd expect when you go to a party college or anything like that. I mean, everybody here is dressed nice. I mean, suits.
So we're in Oxford.
Yeah, sort of.
We're in Star Wars Oxford. Okay.
It's Oxford.
But as you make your way to the Tap Calf, you would all probably pick up on the factor that it's getting a little raspy to breathe, like this orangish yellow foggy cloud that looms over everything. For most of us that are old enough to have gone to a bar or anything that wasn't smoke-free would know that feeling after being in a bar for a half hour or so. You get that sort of raspy, scratchy throat. So it's the same sort of thing by the time you get to the Tap Calf. And when you walk inside, it's exactly like the guy said. I mean, it's just this nice, quiet little bistro. Like, it's not wood, but everything's got that wood veneer sort of look to it.
Varnish.
And you can see near the door, the main door in, and then like the side door on the place, there are two large air scrubbers as you walk through the doorway. So every time the door gets opened, a little bit of that fog would follow you in. Well, as soon as it comes in, it gets sucked into those air scrubbers.
We may need to acquire some of these same breathing apparatus or face guards that the locals seem to have.
I would agree. I walk to the counter. Excuse me, where would one find a air scrubber for personal use?
So we sell those here.
At a reasonable price, I hope.
So that depends on which ones you want. We've got the cheapest thing we've got is 2 credits, and it's basically no more than a thick piece of cloth that you put over your face. And we've got other ones that'll cost you upwards of 50 to 60 credits.
What are most of the locals wearing?
Most of the locals are wearing some of the more, what you would imagine being the more expensive ones. They're not walking around with just the cheap cloth like paint masks. They're not wearing those. They're wearing some of the other more expensive ones, like you see, that have the full hard shell and a scrubber off to the side, or one on but they're Star Wars style, so it's not this big old filter on the side. It's just like a small grate on the side or on the front for the scrubber.
Well, sadly for Carter, he does not have a credit to his name. Anybody got any cash?
Don't starting characters have the percentile worth of credits?
Most of them have about somewhere between 300 to 500 credits. I'd say that there was probably some emergency cash or emergency credits. So I'd say
so we're not flat broke.
I'd say you've each probably got enough to have split it down to maybe 125 for each of you.
Speak for yourselves. I've got a ton. I didn't spend a damn thing. Well, pretty much.
I'll buy one of the mid-range scrubbers then.
All right, so 25 credits.
All right, I'll follow suit, seeing as how I'm supposed to be kind of like an underling type. I'm not going to go for the good one. Like, I'm kind of thinking about going for the good one, and then I start thinking about it and going, oh, well, wait a minute. If the underling has a better air scrubber, that might cause some suspicion or something. So.
Thanks, bro.
I was thinking about just going for the cloth one. Don't really want to choke to death, in the first hour of the adventure. So yeah.
Is there one that will work with the helmet of my armor?
Yeah, like I said, you think of the look of sort of like the Vader sort of grill, but it's just got like straps that would go behind your ears to hold it on.
All right. Well, I'll pick one up that I can wear while wearing my helmet whenever I need to. I mean, I'm just carrying the helmet as we're going around, but just in case.
All right. So another mid-range, 25 credits.
Okay.
I'll take one as well.
All right. And are you going mid-range, Scott, or going for the low grade?
Mid-range.
All right. So 25 also for you.
Yep.
Same for mid-range.
Okay. Yep. Same price.
I'm gonna scan the room. Do we look? Is there anybody who looks like they're not like nose deep in a book?
Um, there's nobody that's really paying you any real attention other than the attendant that you're speaking to, but there are quite a few patrons to the place that seem to be just sort of sitting around drinking whatever and staring out windows or sitting there reading and whatnot, but nobody looks like they're like zoned out or anything to where they wouldn't notice if you came up or anything.
I'm gonna look around and try and spot like the most and someone in their middle age kind of thing, not a student, but someone who looks affiliated with the university and looks to be more on the academic staff side of things.
Yeah, there's quite a few people in here that have the academic look or the professor look, and there's also quite a few that have the sort of like student aid sort of look. They look like a professor or something, but they're quite a bit younger than a professor or anybody should be.
Okay.
I'm going to take a look around the room and see if there's any differences between badges based on the looks of the different people.
Okay. Average difficulty 2 purple.
Okay.
Perception.
And Okaro, while he's rolling that, Okaro is definitely feeling his age at the moment because if anyone, I mean, he's the bodyguard, but I just kind of realized because he's only like 16 in this type of setting, he really would kind of not fit the role, even though he's playing the role type thing, which just plays into the fact that the guy doesn't actually need a bodyguard. It's more of the university, like he's probably like another professor's friend's son or something like that.
How old are you, Carter?
Carter said he was 24, and both of the other two he said around 20. So
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 21.
I'm the oldest person here.
All right.
Well,
So I got 2 success. I'm also kind of looking to see is there anything technological about these, or are they just something that you stick on your apparel?
They all look to be like sort of a translucent plastic card it doesn't look flimsy. I mean, it looks stiff. Sort of a green, a lime sort of green in color, with the names either etched or laser printed into them with some type of picture on them.
And differences between like teachers, students? Kind of the same.
They're all pretty similar. There are some that have got that are sort of perfectly rectangular with the pointed edges, and there's some that have got like the edges clipped off of them to where they're more hex shaped.
okay, gentlemen. Well, this puts us in somewhat of a bind. Now, we look more like students because of our age, but would having a student credential grant us the same access as a professor's?
As long as we get a credential that allows us to do research, which there are surely students involved in research for the section that we need to get into, we'll be fine, I'm sure.
Okay. I'll look around again, Sean. Is there anyone that resembles like me or Carter? Just like, physically, like hair color, facial features. Not saying like a doppelganger, but somebody who,
Someone with a rough, muscular, handsome face, goatee.
So the opposite of you.
Hey.
I'll say yeah. There's a guy in here that would look a little bit like Kem, maybe a little heavier built.
Okay. Right. Well, Okoro, Androl, perhaps if you guys want to kind of like hang back and enjoy a drink at the bar, allow me and Carter to go and engage in conversation. That way we can just, humans to humans kind of thing.
Sounds good. Just signal if you need any assistance, and in the meantime, I'll mention to Okoro what I observed about the badges. Maybe see if he's got some ideas on how to duplicate them, that sort of thing. Just talking quietly at the bar, maybe order a calf or something like that.
Yeah, if any of you are any good with computers, you would recognize that they're probably pretty easily cloned.
I'm not good with computers though, so.
Me neither. It looks like some sort of
Nor am
miracle
I.
technology that they're wearing.
I'm really smart.
Yeah, I got that going for me.
You're elected.
Carter, what say we go and make a friend?
That sounds like a fine idea.
Okay, yeah, he's sitting over against the wall. It's got like a long section of windows, like a storefront type of deal. He's sitting over there, and he's just drinking a cup of something and sort of watching people walk around outside.
Let's go over and say, good afternoon. May me and my companion join you?
Oh, please, have a seat.
Okay. Are you a student at the university?
Student aid.
Oh, okay. Me and my companion are here to do some research. This is my friend Carter.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kel.
What is it you're researching, by the way?
At the moment, I'm not actually researching anything. I'm just kind of gopher for the professor in the labs. But what are you researching or majoring in? Are you students here?
Well, we've just landed. We found some old kind of artifacts that we've come to do some research on. We've heard the facilities here are second to none. So this was our first port of call. Yeah, how would we go about getting one of those? And I'll point to the badges. Is it like stuck to his chest or something?
Yeah, it's sort of clipped to a pocket, so it's just sort of hanging there on his chest.
Yeah, so how would we go about getting one of those? I imagine we need those to gain entrance to the university, correct?
If we discover anything interesting, I'll be sure to mention you in the report. It's very helpful.
So that's kind of easy, but yeah, you can get visitors badges at any of the student halls here in or around the university gates.
Ah, that's good to know. And who is your esteemed professor? Maybe we've heard of him.
Professor Giles.
Giles. That's
Ring a bell, Carter?
a little bit. I think I did a few bit of research on some of the books that he used to write. He's an intelligent man. Bit of a hard ass though.
You have no clue.
He works you hard, does he not?
He does a bit, but it'll all be worth it in the end. I've learned a lot since coming to work for him.
Okay. Now this is I've been out of character. I've been wanting to do this for so long. All right, I'm gonna tell Kel. So yeah, look, we're on a bit of a tight schedule, so we don't really have time to visit one of the student halls to get visitor passes. Perhaps we could borrow yours and give like the Jedi like a kind of hand sweep. I've always wanted to do that. Perhaps we could borrow yours.
Give us your
Yeah, I'm going to use
credentials.
my force power, baby. I'm going to use my force power.
Then roll for it, sir.
Influence.
That's awesome.
That's great. I love it.
Do forever. Oh, it's a dark side. I'm going to have to flip.
Oh.
Change it to a light. Sorry.
Alright, so let's see, that's
Damn it.
one conflict for now. Mhm.
Oh, I flipped. I changed it to a light one.
Oh, that's right, yeah, you use that so it doesn't turn to conflict.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Sorry, my
Good
fault.
guy. Yeah, so perhaps we can borrow yours. And like he's gonna suddenly become very agreeable in the fact that these are nice guys. They're on a tight schedule. It'd just be easier if I just let them lend them mine.
Alright, so you do that to him, and he kind of looks at you strange for a moment, and he's, well, yeah, I suppose. He says, and I'll need it back by the end of the day. And he just
Of course.
sort of
We'll leave
hands
it
it
with
over
your
to you.
professor. If we're on if we can't make it back to you, we'll leave it with your professor. I'm sure Professor Giles will be very pleased that you've helped us today.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be happy that I helped other scholars out.
Of course he would. Of course he would. Well, thank you, Kel. Get back to your calf, and it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Same, very pleasurable.
I leave 5 credits and I say, get a few more for yourself. Guile is going to keep you up for quite a while, isn't he?
Oh, likely, and thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.
As we walk back, I look over at Cam and I go, well done.
I told you I can be very persuasive.
Indeed.
Andral has witnessed this, and he's seen this before. He's been on the receiving end of it a couple of times, and he just kind of has a knowing smile on his face. And when they come back to the bar, he just says, "Well done."
Well, let's make haste before he realizes what's happened.
And I say, to the ship then?
Yeah, we need to pick up our creative artifacts.
Yes.
And I begin moving at a scholarly pace with my new scrubber. I'm sorry, I had to.
Alright, so the 4 of you make it up to the university, and as you're approaching, I mean,
Oh no, we were heading back to the ship. Weren't we going to make copies?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's cool.
Yeah,
And also pick up the crate.
yeah, and I'm sorry, I jumped ahead.
It's fine.
You head back to the ship. And in order to make copies of this, I would need none of you have a trained computer skill?
No, but I'm really smart.
Okay, so we'll make that a hard.
I'll just say to Carter, we've only got this one copy. Don't mess this up.
Yeah. Andrel, could you help me with this?
Gladly.
Oh God. Okay, so 2 purple and 1 red.
Yes, please.
Okay, but I get 2 boost die because the Togruta is helping me, right?
Rock on.
Oh God.
Oh, you did it before. You can do it again. I'm enthusiastic about this.
Oh God.
Oh,
yes!
yeah.
Togruta boost power.
I am
Big
all
time.
Axors right now.
So you're able to produce 4 ident chips or ident cards, having used Kel's as a base model, and they are flawless copies.
Oh yeah.
And we're all university vice presidents now.
I make myself the dean. No. While I'm waiting for them to load, I would like to meditate. And while doing so, use my foresee power.
Okay.
All right. So with the hum of the machine behind me, I crouch down and begin meditating. And oh yes, oh I am just all on it today. Wow. I have
Jeez, that's nice.
I have so many visions, much future.
So
Thank
many
you.
vision, much future. Alright. Foresee. There it is. Okay.
Let me tell you. Okay, so I have foresee and I have strength on it, so I can use a pip to pick out more details.
Okay. So as you sit meditating, you kind of get these flashes of vision in your eye, in your mind's eye, so to speak, of sort of a bird's eye view at first of the courtyard of the school, and the lead up to the archive building, and then it flashes, and you get a view of a middle-aged human with a cybernetic implant, and you get another flash of a dark library or archive or something. And there's shelves and windows with droids behind them, and books and tables. And another flash with a view of the portly gentleman from the holovid. You can see that he's dark of skin, dark of hair, and he's got these two sort of gray streaks that go down the sides of his head. And a view of your ship.
What?
And that's it.
What happened? Why did I see the ship? Is it this ship or this ship?
Your ship, the ship, the shuttle that you're on.
Oh. I still don't feel great about that.
It wasn't like a chaotic view or anything. I mean, it's just like a view of the outside of your ship.
Okay. So I got cyberhuman, library with droids, the portly gentleman has dark scare and dark skin, and his hair is streaked with gray, but is also dark and dark. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. I relay this information. Speaking with Andrel, I feel like I have an affinity with him. And I tell him specifically about the cybernetic human, because that just seemed odd to me. What specifically was cybernetic about him?
He's got one of those cybernetic brain implant type deals that wraps around the back of their head.
Okay.
Oh, sort of like Lando's.
Yeah, sort of like Lando's aid.
Yeah, okay.
And I try not to sound like it, but there's a little bit of frustration in my voice because I've been like hitting the grindstone every day trying to have visions of our master to see where she is, and nothing has come up. And so I relate to him. I didn't see her again, but I saw the man in the holovid and the library. It had many droids in it. So we should be careful not to be identified, possibly on a genetic level, by them if they have that capability. But more intriguingly, I saw a man with a cybernetic implant that had a wraparound connected to his brain, it seemed.
Did you sense a threat from him?
Possibly. It's nothing that I felt strongly, but I don't feel good about it.
Sean, how long did it take us to? Sorry, how long did it take us to replicate these cards?
About took about a half hour, 45 minutes to replicate the 4 cards, and his meditating took probably another half hour worth of time.
Well, what I would like to have done, I didn't really get a chance, but as soon as we'd finished with the card, I would want to return it to the cafe back to Cal. So if I could have done that while he was meditating, perhaps as soon as we'd finished with the card, I want to take it back and just say, oh, is he still there?
Yeah, he would have still been at the cafe. And when you bring the card back to him, he sort of gives you this sort of strange look, and he's, well, geez, I didn't even realize I lost it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I saw it on the floor next to your seat, so I figured it belonged to you.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't have got back into work without this.
You sly dog.
No problem. Anyway, have yourself a good day, and I'll hurry back to the ship.
All right. So yeah, you'd get back to the ship about the same time that Carter is relaying what he saw in his vision to Andral.
So Andral is basically he's reassuring Carter, you're gonna find her. You're gonna find her someday. We'll all find her together. Right now, I'm sure your mind is occupied with the task at hand. I'm sure this information, he's just being kind of encouraging. I'm sure this information is going to help us. These droids could probably be just research assistants or something like that, perhaps, but certainly if you saw them, they're going to have some significance. So we'll be on the lookout for the droids. We'll definitely be on the lookout for the man with the cybernetic implant. This is gonna help us. This is gonna help us.
I smile at his attempts to reassure me, and I say, "Thank you, Andral. You always have a comforting word to say." And I gave him a quick brotherly hug. Just figure we're close like that,
Sure.
On a ship.
Hug.
Okay. So after a while, of getting things handled here in the ship and getting your stuff all ready and making your final checks, the 4 of you head on toward the university, and you have to go through one of the mini gates, obviously, to get there. And the security guards that are here in the gate remind you a lot of sort of the stormtroopers that you've seen milling about the city and the spaceport, in the fact that they're just really lax at what they're doing. Like, they don't even get up when you guys step in. It's just sort of a sitting there, and the one looks at you and he says, "All right, credentials." And he doesn't even get up. He just puts a hand up. He goes, "Let me see your credentials."
Here you go, sir. And I hold them up.
Yeah, hold it in front. Don't actually give it to him. Just hold it in front of him so he can see it, but not actually touch it.
All right. He looks over him and he says, "Okay, any weapons or anything that need to be registered? And if you have any weapons, do you have permits for said weapons?"
Well, actually, that's funny you mentioned that. And I say, Cam, can you bring the case, please?
Yeah. Well, I'm not the help.
Okay.
Oh,
Andral, that's all right. Andral will have the case. Yeah, he'll bustle up with it, but he kind of gives a sidelong look to Chem, like licenses, permits. He's basically trying to somehow form a psychic link with him suddenly. He's going, "I don't know about this."
All we have is this old ancient relic. It's more of a point of interest than a real weapon, actually. And I open the case and I show him the weapon.
All right. To get past the guards with this one, make me a 2 difficulty cool to see if you're able to keep your cool and your
I'll do it.
lie. And you can take a bonus because it's a group check sort of deal.
So I get 2 because we got our.
The Tigruda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has no cool but lots of boost?
Oh, there's a triumph.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Yeah, not only do you make it through, but, I mean...
He carries the box for us.
There we go.
This guy goes, wow, okay, yeah, you guys are obviously very important on important research. Allow me to get that for you.
This is a super
Yeah.
cool sword.
Yeah. How about he kind of recognizes who it should go to and kind of like says, "Oh, this is Professor, the portly dude," and says he's in this building, this office, and just like tells us exactly where to go.
Let me bring you there.
Could that be the triumph? I don't know.
I believe so, but I'd definitely like him to act as like our escort.
We'll combine both of those.
Okay.
And we'll say that, yeah, as soon as he looks at it and looks it over, he's, oh, yeah, that would be Azure's department. Here, I'll show you the way. And he kind of grabs one end of the box and leaves the other end for Andral to grab.
Sure. All right.
And he begins to lead you guys in. He looks to his partner. He says, give me like 15. I'll be right back. And he starts leading you in, and it takes a few minutes to cross the university, and you notice that about every 15, 20 feet along the walkway, and even spread throughout the grassy areas, there are air scrubbers. And the air in here, it's not perfectly clean, but it doesn't look like a fog like the rest of the city. It's just sort of a light haze that hangs.
Say to the guard, you guys have a bit of a pollution problem on this planet. Where does this dust come from?
It's most of the planet's industrial. This is there's only a few living areas and the university here.
Ah, I see.
Industrial.
It's been this way for thousands of years.
I hope you have a good medical plan.
So that's what the air scrubbers are for. As far as civilians and such, and people that don't work at the university, I mean, most of them wear the breathers like you gentlemen have got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems that it'd be rather uncomfortable living here without one, truth be told.
I would imagine so. He says, I know I don't leave campus grounds without my scrubber on.
Well, you're a credit to your profession for the diligent work you do here.
Well, thank you very much. And a few minutes pass by, and the screen sort of blacks, and when it comes back, you guys are walking into the archive, it's sort of like a glass tunnel sort of deal that leads up to the archive building, which is the tall spired building that you could see when you were coming in for a landing. And as you enter into the actual building after going up the walkway, it has a small sort of like 30 by 40 sort of landing area where there's metal detectors and stuff like that, and there's more air scrubbers by the door, and you can see it immediately, like there's offices on this main floor, and then there's sort of escalators that lead up. You can see all sorts of people walking around in lab coats and uniforms and such. Everybody's wearing badges. Some people have multiple different badges that they're wearing. And as you are led in, you're walked right past the metal detectors and such. The security guard, he leans over to one of the other guys and he says, "Oh yeah, these guys are here for Azure and they've got artifacts and such. I'm going to take them up to them." And he walks you through. They wave you through. Nobody pats you down. Nobody gives you a second glance.
Nice guy.
But I do want you to make a hard perceptions check. You can all make it if you want.
But I don't have any eyeballs.
Hard is 3, correct?
Yes, 3 purple.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna give it a shot. Oh,
No.
womp womp. First bad roll.
Wow, that's like
2 strain.
Okay.
Your nerves are racked trying to get in through here.
Yeah.
What
I'm really...
the?
Oh wow.
How did
Nice.
you fail this roll?
I do not know.
And I got it. What the?
So Andral's really just. I mean, he's just he wants to be the one to spot the cybernetic dude. So he's just like looking so hard that he really just he's not really seeing anything. He's looking so hard for the one thing. So
Sean, I promise I'm not smart enough to hack
the
into
dice
this.
roller.
Yeah.
It's all good.
That's all right. That's what the game's about.
With your success, I'm going to say that just moments after Azur's name is mentioned, you notice one of the security guards who wasn't doing anything beforehand. I mean, he's sitting at terminals and whatnot, but he's just sort of sitting there. And as soon as Azur's name is mentioned, he reaches one hand up and types a couple of things into a keypad. And the advantage, unless you have got something you want to use them for, I'm going to say is the factor that just moments after this guy types into the keypad, you see a middle-aged, balding gentleman with a black goatee, all nice, well-trimmed. He's wearing a gray on gray sort of two-tone suit, and he has a cybernetic implant that reaches around the back of his head. And he is the spitting image of the gentleman that you saw in your vision.
I take a deep gulp and I say to the guard that we're walking with, "Is that Azure?"
No, he says, no, that's the dean. He says, that's Erin Gari, our dean.
Oh, thank you.
And
No, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, you go right ahead.
No, I wasn't going to say anything important.
All right. Well, as soon as he's introduced to you as to who that is, you see he sort of waves 2 fingers up in the air, and he says, Sarge. And you see your security guard. He sort of looks up and he waves him up to you. So you guys were already heading to the escalators to head up, but you can see that the security guard has been waved over to him. Right, there it is.
I'm not good at thinking on my feet. I need time to plan. I say, if you need a moment, we'll hold on to the box while you go talk to your employer.
Uh, he says, well, if that's even what he wants, he probably wants to introduce himself.
Oh, okay.
And as a matter of fact, as you guys come to the top of the escalator, this gentleman is standing there. He's smiling pleasantly. He reaches out a hand to shake Carter's hand as Carter's the second one, or the second one, third one up the escalator, but first one up that's not carrying a box. And he says, "Welcome to Fellar, and here in Eridu, our university." He says, "I'm Proctor, the dean." He says, "I'm Aaron Gari. Before we let you delve into your research materials," and he kind of waves a hand at your crate. He says, "The university would like to give you a quick orientation tutorial. I know it sounds tedious, but we've got a certain way we like to do things around here."
Of course, everything by the books, sir. Dean Guile?
Gari.
Gary, my apologies. Gary, it is a pleasure to meet you. I'm actually a little surprised you came out to greet us. It's an honor.
Says, I make it my duty to meet any and all new scholars that show up. Says, like I said, we like to make sure things are done a certain way, and we like to make sure that the new folks figure out, are told how it's done around here, so that nothing gets broken or misplaced, and everything continues to run nice and smooth. And I run a well-oiled ship.
Of course. Please lead us on this tour.
All right. He leads you into a small conference room. The security guard, he sets the crate down, and because just standing here holding it's going to get heavy. So he sets his end down and sort of expects for Andral to do the same. But Gari, he sort of steps to the head of the table where you guys were ushered to sit. And he says, Fellar University is a major center for advanced learning in this sector. And our archive is crucial to this effort. For that reason, we take great pains to maintain proper procedure for research efforts. Some of our artifacts here are tens of thousands of years old and very delicate, very fragile. This knowledge must be protected and preserved for future generations to understand and learn from. And he goes on for probably another 10 to 15 minutes, sort of the same sort of deal.
The whole while I'm nodding my head, looking starry-eyed, and just like, yes, that's so amazing. Wow.
I would like all of you to make a charm check.
Hey, I'm not bad at that.
Difficulty is 2 red, 1 purple.
Why? Why? Is it because I said I'm not bad?
No, because that's what it says in the book.
Oh, right. He has that thing that he's a person that does
Oh,
things.
boom, to success.
Wow.
Charming.
Nice.
Ah!
You've been kissing his arse too much. He's seen right through it.
No, that's not me. That's 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 the enthusiastic one. Now I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna flip just 'cause
Seriously, bro, you flipped for this.
there's 2 red. Ah! Wait, I don't. I don't know how to feel about that.
Don't they cancel each other out, or? No, I guess not.
No, they don't cancel each other out. But how do you go from 2 green to 1 green and 2 yellow?
I upgraded. I have 3 presents and 1 charm.
Okay. Oh wait, I'm looking at Scott's for the. All right. So there's that, and
I reckon you've triumphantly kissed his arse and think you've done a great job, but the despair is he's not buying it.
all right. So the triumph is 9.
Can I have the triumph in response to the despair, please?
Well, the despair. I'm not telling you what those are.
Shit! Oh no!
So Andral just basically thinks that he's kind of like half asleep right now, standing by the crate, or even sitting on the crate by this point. By about like minute 5,
He's like nodding off.
Yeah, he's sitting on the crate and just kind of like, well, or whatever. That's his perception of what's happening right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like my triumph to be me, and I know Andral knows I don't mean it. Yelling at Andral so that it looks like I'm a pompous imperial human who's mad at his manservant.
The non-human servant, sure. Nice, I like that.
And I would like his triumph for him to believe that charade.
You know what? That works. Just because it, at the same time as making him think that you are pompous and uppity and whatnot, a jackass imperial, it still leads into what the despair is. So, perfect. I'll let that stand.
Okay.
But I am charming like a mofo, is that right?
Yes, I mean he seems just. I mean he doesn't seem overly irritated or anything with anybody except for maybe Andral and Okora, who have both sort of sat there and kind of nodded out a couple of times during his droning on, because he's sort of like the Clear Eyes commercial guy. He's just monotoned and no emotion or anything to his voice. But
so Andral like comes to his feet and just almost like he's scared of Carter and just like, sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. It'll never happen again.
You certainly are.
Is there any chance I could maybe use a deception check to make him believe that?
Don't chance it, please. Don't chance it.
Okay, well, I have deception. That's the thing. I actually have.
Okay.
It's all right if I don't.
I will allow that. And
It's because you've got it. You got 2 yellow and a green, and that thing you rolled before and still failed.
Good point.
2 purple and a red.
Oh, thank God.
Damn it.
All right. I'm not gonna chance it. I'm just gonna come to my feet and just
Okay.
and just kind of.
I like those odds. No, take it. Come on.
Okay.
Man.
All right. Well.
I thought he was gonna have 2 of the
It's a red. It's a red and 2 purple.
Yep. 1 red, 2 purple.
1 red, 2 purple. All right. Here we go. Wow.
What even
Okay.
is this?
All right.
All right. So you fail at making him believe that you're sincere, but you are triumphant in making him see you as a servant.
I'll take that.
And you pick up one strain from just
Okay.
the whole nervous bit of what all's going on.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm picking up a strain from this crap.
Well, no, that kind of works because, like, maybe he thinks that, well, yeah, typical non-human, he's just, he's just kissing ass there or whatever. But yeah, he is the subservient one. So
All
Yeah.
according to plan.
cool. I like it.
But after all this, he's just, now I thank you, gentle. What did I do? Lose him?
Oh my gosh, everyone's dropping.
Damn. All right, well, let's wait a second. I don't want to go on any further just yet.
Hey.
No, he's back.
And then I just completely accidentally dropped. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, it's all good. We're waiting.
You came back. That's the important part.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody know how Josh is doing, or?
I haven't gotten any more messages from him. I know he said he was having to reboot everything.
Oh, I'll
Reset his-
message to the group now.
He's resetting his router and
Right.
ISP and all that stuff. So,
Oh, then here's Stan.
but we'll carry on with him just sort of in the background.
There we go.
That way, when he steps in and he's still there.
And he saves us all.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully.
Well, me anyway.
But yeah, he doesn't show that he's displeased with anybody except for Andral, and it doesn't really. I mean, it looks more like a racial thing than anything.
Oh, that's good.
But he just kind of shoots him that glance of you're an ass, and he says, "Well, thank you for sitting through my lecture, and please enjoy your stay here at the university, and I hope you're able to find anything and everything you're looking for."
Wow, what is going on? Matt Roberts.
Wow.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
But yeah, he thanks you guys for sitting through and for dealing with all this, and tells you good luck with your research. I hope you're able to find everything you look for, and enjoy your stay. And he holds the door open and just sort of hand out, ushering you guys on your way to go on with your day.
As I exit, I go to shake his hand. Thank you once more.
Oh, no problem. And if there's anything you need while you're here, please feel free to contact me.
I will do so, sir. Thank you so much. Your facilities are quite amazing from the look of it. And I head outside.
I deliberately keep my eyes downcast and kind of do the subservient thing as I walk past him with the crate.
Yeah, and the security guard at the other end of the crate, he kind of looks at you and says, "Don't worry. He treats all his staff like we're assholes. He's just an ass."
I'll kind
You
of
should
give him a cautious nod, but not sort of like, okay, don't report me.
But yeah, you're escorted up to like the 24th floor and up to the archive section, and the guard walks you in, and he helps you set the crate up onto a table, and he looks at you. He says, "Well, it's just coming to the end of the lunch hour here." He says, "So Ashur should be either in here somewhere already or on his way back." And he then turns and leaves, leaving the four of you stand here in this dimly lit archive that has stacks of digital books and all sorts of different tables with stools and benched seats. And there are these large Durasteel, or not Durasteel, but the glass steel windows with these sort of antiquated sort of learning educational droids behind the glass, and each window has this big like glass box that sticks out one end and the other side, that they look like they're used for passing some of the objects here in the archives back and forth through.
Should we start looking now, or should we wait for Ajora to get back?
I think we can cautiously look around the room, see if anything looks familiar.
Yes. And I look at the droids, and I'm quirking my head. And what did you say they look like they were used for again?
They look like old education droids. So I mean, they've got sort of a barreled sort of chest with a spindly like pipe neck, and they've got this sort of oblonged, flat on the bottom, flat sides, but like a rounded top dome.
Okay. I say.
Hang on a sec. I'll see Carter looking at these droids quizzically, and I'll say, tell him like, I don't know what you're thinking, Carter, but I can certainly make one of these droids do our bidding if that's what you want, and I'll pull out a restraining bolt with a little smile.
And I say, perhaps we can use one to get somewhere we're not supposed to be.
And about the time that you guys are saying this, you would hear a familiar voice come from shelving behind you. It's Azur's sort of deep voice. And he says, "Well, that's not going to be any problem, gentlemen." He says, "I'm so glad you've made it inside here." He says, "I've been going out of my mind waiting for a chance to share this discovery."
Azur,
It's
it's a pleasure to see you. We've heard a lot about you. I've got to tell you, it's a relief. Honestly, I was worried.
I'll turn around and smile at Azure while putting the restraining bolt back in my utility belt slyly.
He says, "Yeah, the droids, they're archive help. They'll do anything you ask. But if you try to leave the room with anything, they'll flip alarms. This is the only thing you can leave. Only thing you can leave with is the stuff you came in with."
I look at him and I say, "Well, Professor, we have an artifact," and I give him a wink, for you to study. Would you mind if we go to your lab or your research quarters?
He says, "Oh, everything I've got to show you is back here." He says, "I've been looking at it for days on end, and like I said, I've been going out of my mind, out of my wits, waiting for you guys, hoping to share this." He says, "I've got a feeling about this talisman, that it's not just a piece of jewelry. It's something special, and I know it. I can feel it."
When he says this, Carter feels a slight thump in his chest, like his heart beats really hard, because more than anything, he probably wants that too. And he goes, "Please show me." And if any of the others are looking at Carter's face, they can see probably a bit too much want in his eye.
Right, can I make a perception roll for that? I mean, I've got shit perception, but just in case.
Yeah. What are you looking to see if you see his reaction, or?
Well, yeah, just as he's just spelled out there that he's got that little bit too much kind of lust for loot, kind of greedy, obsessive look about him. I mean,
It's only because it's ancient.
yeah, it doesn't affect me either way. But since you sort of pointed out that if we were
Easy
looking at it,
difficulty.
okay,
1 purple.
Yeah, because I'm not hiding it.
that's fine. Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So spotted. I'll kind of narrow my eyes a little bit, but that's about all I'll do. Alright.
Okay, so
Andral will place a hand on on Carter's shoulder and just patience.
That's yes. It's,
Ironic coming from
you're
you,
lecturing me
Jack.
on
yeah.
patience.
Well, I was gonna say patience as he pushes past him and goes
Yeah,
to
exactly.
his thing.
He first.
Patience as he breaks his shin.
Azure, he'd sort of wave to you. Yeah, come on, follow me. It's over here. One of the tables I've been working at. And
As we're moving toward it, I will kind of get up alongside him and say, just kind of quietly say, is this a secure place? Can we speak freely?
oh yeah, as long as you're not using comms. Once we get back here and away from the droid's ear, we'll be just fine. This is there's really only 2 problems with this talisman, he goes on to say as you're walking. He says, besides not knowing enough about what it is, I'm not exactly sure where it came from either. The university receives dozens of cultural artifacts from across the galaxy every day. They get put into storage for cataloging immediately, unfortunately. And unfortunately, a lot of paperwork is incomplete, missing, or just not done at all. It did come with a starship record, but who knows if it's from the same archaeological dig site or where it comes from.
So are you saying? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say he sort of gets a frustrated sort of look but smile all at the same time, and he says it's frustratingly exciting.
And Carter laughs and he goes, I know the feeling.
Yeah, Andral is picking up on this excitement, and surely is this astrogation data? Is there a place that we could search?
There are computers at all of the tables, so it is possible.
And I assume we're near the back now.
Yeah, it takes about 6-7 minutes to walk through all these different sort of mazes of shelves and stuff. You walk past many different tables and only pass by one other person back toward the beginning of where you started.
When I see the table with the artifacts on it, I almost begin speed walking forward, and then I take half a step too far, and then I just stop myself and breathe and walk towards it again. And I grab the nearest seat, and I just sit down and I start looking at all these things, and I say, and when exactly, how long ago was it that you got these items?
These items, they came in about a month and a half ago.
Mm.
Where did they come from?
Again, I've got the one slip, he says, but I don't know if the one slip is for all of them or what. I'm not sure.
Do you have the slip on your person?
On the table is the slip, along with the T-visored cut helmet that you saw in the holovid, a sort of black box sort of transponder, the talisman necklace, and what
Azure, when these items were checked in, surely they came with some sort of manifest as to who deposited them. Like each individual piece surely was logged and recorded.
Oh, he's here. This is the slip that I've got, and he hands it over to you, and it reads, Lieutenant TK575 reporting. All useful cargo has been confiscated and added to our stores. The smuggler has been judged and sentenced. All the other cargo, a transponder, helmet, electronics, and some sort of necklace will be delivered to Eridu. Nothing else to report.
Okay.
These were found on a smuggler first.
And TK would be an Imperial designation then.
Yeah, it's an officer, the arresting officer, I imagine.
You could make a let's see. Core Worlds or just a lore check
Carter?
to figure out if you know what the TK stands for.
Oh, I will lure the shite out of it. Let's do it. What is the difficulty?
So you've been trapped away on a ship, but you weren't born there, so you're only 20s. I'd say average difficulty, two purple. But
Can I make
I'm gonna
it more difficult to get some light points on our side?
Yeah, one purple, one red.
Awesome. This is going to be the time I get another despair, isn't it? Oh, God.
Success.
There you go.
Oh.
You would know the TK is the designation that gives stormtroopers.
Okay. I relay this. And I go, so they found a smuggler carrying these, and I look. Is the smuggler's name? I apologize if you said it and I didn't pick it up, but is it mentioned?
Nope.
I don't think it was.
Did they say where in the manifest where the smuggler was taken?
Nope. It just says that the stuff was found on a smuggler. The smuggler was judged and sentenced.
And all the items on the table are pertinent to that particular.
Yep. They were all found on this one smuggler.
All right.
And I look and I say, if we could possibly find this smuggler, if he hasn't been sentenced to death, we might be able to get some information from him.
Yeah, I do believe that he would be our best chance of finding out where he came across these relics, but finding him might be more difficult than we anticipate.
And I say, for now though, I would love to study these artifacts, if you don't mind my doing so. And I'm looking at Professor.
Azur, he says, no, please study, check them all out. That's why I wanted you to come. And he just sort of waves his hand over the table. He says, please, make yourself at home.
I grab the nearest set of micro spectacles,
Which one do you go after first? The ancient helmet, the old transponder, the electronic sort of half pyramid, or the talisman?
I'm probably going to go for the pyramid first, because I feel like Carter has just this slight inkling of what it is.
Okay. Make a hard Core Worlds check, and make that 2 purple, 1 red.
Okay, 1 second. Make sure. I'm not particularly fantastic with the Core Worlds, but hopefully heard her.
Oh my God!
All right.
How does he do it?
I don't know. I have no freaking clue.
The 4 intelligence is helping. Definitely, yeah.
Oh
Or
yes,
intellect, I should say.
it is definitely his night for rolls.
Yep.
Yeah, you upon inspecting this, it isn't what you originally thought. It is not a broken or holocron like you had originally thought when looking at it through the holovid.
The despair gives me strain, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, the threats give you 3 strain for how hard you're studying and looking across this thing. But with all the successes, you recognize this as a partially functioning control core that belongs to an ancient model of war droid known as a basilisk.
Ooh.
Mm.
Wait, the Mandalorian basilisks?
Yes, you know, and in character you also know from
Oh, my
different
Lord.
readings that these basilisk war droids were known during like the Mandalorian Wars and before then, that Mandalorians would ride these semi-sentient droids into battle
This am
as sort of a cavalry sort of deal.
I want a pet so bad. No. I'm nerding out the entire time I'm looking over this thing. I'm a little disappointed, but that's still really cool. Like even Carter is like, even though he's disappointed, he's just like, oh my gosh, you guys, this used to control giant war machines written by the Mandalorians when they were invading Coruscant. Oh my gosh, wow. This is amazing.
Written by the who?
The Mandalorians.
Okay.
The ancient race, the warrior.
The warriors who wore these helmets.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I clap, but I put it to the side because I have more studying to do.
Andral kind of he's looking at, he's kind of trying to judge by Carter's reaction, but he actually just like kind of finally, just out of puzzlement, he's like, just how big were these droids?
What's the like size range? It was like 60 feet or something.
No, not that big. You're even with all those successes, you're not quite sure how large they are, but you know that they were at least large enough to have been ridden like a beast into war.
I say
So if you had to guess, I'd say probably the size
10
of
to
a
20.
bantha or smaller.
Yeah. I say most likely about bantha sized, but imagine a bantha with claws of pure, vibrant steel and lasers all over, and
Certainly that would explain the name.
they were a sight. And then I push that to the side, and I take the. You said there was a control box.
Yes, there's what looks to be like an old transponder, like sort of like a black box in a modern day sort of plane.
All right. Well, I'll look at that one next, just because I want to get that one out of the way so I can look at the fun stuff.
Okay. A average mechanics check.
So intelligence.
Yep.
I don't suppose we can go into Facebook chat and ask Josh what his mechanics.
Yeah, you could attempt it, but
Let's see. I don't think I have
Nothing.
it, so.
I don't know crap.
Actually, with the one advantage,
Oh.
because you didn't get a fail or anything.
There's a micro USB port. Anyway.
You are able to discern from it what ship it came from.
Yes!
Ooh.
Awesome!
With the information it gives you, it gives you the name, the Astral Jester.
I laugh at this and I say, we're looking for a funny man. And
Indeed.
when they don't ask for more information, I'm just like, fine. The ship's name is the Astro Jester.
Astral or Astro?
Astral.
Oh, sorry.
Astral. Oh, okay.
The Astral Jester.
So a mystic funny man.
And I look at the professor and I say, does that ship ring any bells to you?
Core World, easy knowledge.
No, I'm asking the professor, but okay. Easy is one, right?
Yep, 1 purple.
Killing it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's 4 intelligence working for me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
Well, the name instantly rings a bell with you. Actually, as soon as you say it out loud and ask the question, it begins to ring a bell with you about a folk tale that Master Satre used to tell.
Oh, boy.
About a folk tale of a ship captain who claimed that they knew the secrets to hyperspace lanes through the deep core, but that's about all that you really remember from it.
I smack my head and I go, idiot! Ah! The master, she told us about this. It was about an old shipmaster who knew the back lanes of hyperspace lanes that led through the deep core. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, I remember the stories, but not very well.
I can't remember anything beyond that, but this is no smuggler. This is a man who knows his way around the stars. And I put the black box aside, and I pick up the Mandalorian helmet.
All right.
By the way, I'm wearing gloves, right?
Are you?
Yes, because I would be so upset with myself if I touched these things.
Okay. Yeah, you pick up the helmet, and sure enough, I mean, it's got the classic T-visor and shape of a Mandalorian helmet, but it's got a burned sort of crack or cut through it.
I wonder what Okoro thinks of this. He likes armor.
What would what would I have to roll to investigate further on this?
Try it on, see if it fits.
No, not until I finish my check on it.
Easy. Just an easy basic knowledge check.
No specific type?
No specific type. I mean, you could use lore or whatever you want, really.
Oh.
But yeah, beings who you are, just easy check. You're pretty positive that it's a mark from a lightsaber cut.
Oh, I relay this, but I can't figure out like who the helmet is from.
No, they're
No name tag inside.
you would recognize from the era of the make and the age to the helmet that
Matches with the basilisk.
matches the age of the basilisk. So I mean, it's at least 1,000 years old.
I For a moment, I look at the inside of it, and my heart skips a beat, and then I just put it to the side, and then I breathe.
So a lightsaber cut on a 1,000-year-old helmet, that would be the Old Republic, but what's the connection with this transponder if this... Are we talking about a 1,000-year-old being here? I don't see the modern connection.
I think that the crystal may tie these together, but if it doesn't, they may just be artifacts, simple artifacts. But if there is a
Excavated,
connection,
perhaps.
if there is a connection, we might be able to find it in the Astral Jester, or
Yes.
perhaps in this crystal. And
Two indeed seem to be related, the two Mandalorian artifacts. And of course, you know, I'm sure the Master would have told us the old tales of the Republic and the wars between the Jedi and the Mandalorians and in the ancient past.
Yes.
I pick up the final artifact, the crystal.
You pick up the crystal?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna study it. So, oh God, what did I do?
Okay.
Ah!
You pick up the talisman, and to the 4 people sitting around you, your eyes would instantly sort of stare off into space. Your face would go blank, but you would feel sort of the feeling of like a living thing that is being exuded from this talisman. And you just feel instantly calm, serenity from it. But you also sense sadness, loss, guilt, mourning. You sort of get this feeling of a wish to do better, to be better, and to feel. And you get the feeling that this talisman could really help you do better and be better, along with all these mixed sort of emotions and stuff that are coming from the talisman. And as soon as you feel all these things just in a matter of half a second. I mean, you're just flooded with all these emotions. And you're instantly sent into a vision.
Yay!
You find yourself standing upon a stone dais, staring at a safe that's sort of set below the surface of a floor. So it's like a hidden safe. Inside of it is a holocron wrapped and nestled safe in the center of the safe. The safe lid, a stone block the size of an astromech droid, lies off to one side. The dais stands in the middle of a large chamber made of dark stone, perhaps 30, 40 meters wide and just as tall. Stone walkways arc in circular patterns around the chamber. You see the stone lid or the stone piece lift into the air and be placed over the chamber with no hands on it. Just then, you feel a shudder as the whole chamber you're in is sort of rocked and vibrates. You can hear distant rumbles, almost reminiscent of explosions. You turn and you see a group of teens and younglings, approximately 12 or 13 of them. One of them is wearing what looks to be an officer's uniform. He looks up from a comlink and says, "Master Issa, the Mandalorians have breached the hall." You nod firmly. You hear what is your voice, but a female voice. Say, "Go, I'll hold them here. You can still escape in the sanctuary's shuttle." Many of the students, you can hear them protesting, saying, "No, we're not leaving." But you accept no argument. Your arm waves out, and you shout, "No, go, get off the ship." They turn and begin to flee, leaving you standing alone. You kneel down on the dais, your lightsaber sitting on the stone floor in front of you. Soon the sounds of combat fill the halls, and a pack of armored warriors burst into the chamber through an airlock door. You look at them calmly. "I do not seek a fight." The warriors scream with their battle cries and leap forward at you, weapons drawn. You wait calmly until they're just moments away. Your lightsaber flies up into your hand, and you spring forward to fight your last battle. You see the lightsaber whirling in front of you. A couple of Mandalorians fall, and then suddenly you're kneeling, and there's a black flat blade thrust through from your back out your chest, and the vision ends.
And I'm assuming I experienced the pain.
Yeah, you can smell the dusty sort of stale air in the air from the room. You feel a intense burning sensation all the way through your core, and as the vision fades, you still hear the same voice, this woman's voice. It says, "Do not follow my example. Jedi cannot retreat from the world. They must struggle, succeed, and fail with the rest of the galaxy."
As these words are said, and I'm coming out of the vision, I fall out of the chair, clutching my chest, and trying to keep myself from screaming like.
Andral's been standing behind him and just kneels next to him reflexively, trying to support him. Ask him what's wrong. What happened?
Stabbed. Black blade.
You saw someone stabbed?
No, I was stabbed. She was stabbed.
But this isn't. You were someone else. This is not like the visions you've had before.
It's different. The crystal. Where?
Seeing Carter struggling, like Kemal lean down and kind of just put his hand on his forehead and just say, "Be calm, brother, be calm. I'm going to use my force power to try and instill a sense of peace, tranquility, calmness." She's clearly not doing too well.
No! Don't do that! That is the bad!
Okay, I'm going to need a conflict for that one, Sean. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to calm him down and make him feel peaceful. But basically, he's feeling, because he's feeling pain and stuff from his vision, and despair. That's what he's gonna feel from me, is like despair and anger and like a sense of loss, and instead of what I was trying to do.
Okay.
And Andral, when Andral hears the word crystal, he'll try and take it from Carter's hand and knock it onto the table or something.
Because of the result of that force die, Carter says, "No,
my precious." Basically, where this is going.
leave it be. Leave it be. It speaks to me, and I don't want to lose the connection. It could be important. Like she said, a Jedi must suffer and triumph with the galaxy.
Alright, so Andral just barely gets a finger on it before you sort of stop him from doing it. And to you, Andral, it just feels like a piece of crystal. You don't go into the sudden vision or anything when touching it like he did as soon as his hand laid on it.
Yeah, his thought was that it was somehow attuned to someone who would be a seer, and that if he got it away from, that he didn't think he was in any danger. But yeah, he says, as you wish.
I pull myself up back on the chair, and I look at the professor and I say, "Do you have any water?"
Yes, of course. And he'd turn around to a small little like side table and grab a sort of a like these little. It's like this little sphere that's got water in it. It's got a little section, like a little plug on it that you'd pop off. It's sort of like a bottle of water, but it's circular.
Yeah. I put it to my lips, and my entire body is just racked with sweat. And while I'm drinking, my muscles are still shaking slightly. And I say, I had a vision of the Mandalorian invasion. A Master Isa. She saved younglings and sacrificed herself for them. She hid a holocron away. We have to find it. But we have to bring it to the Master so that it can be used to restore the Jedi. So that we can once again be a part of the galaxy and help it in its struggles. I apologize if I frightened you. I felt everything she felt, and she was brutally stabbed. And the black blade that I saw, I'm assuming that it is the blade that I'm thinking of, the black flat lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. It is indeed the one and only in existence that is with, if you know Mandalorians, with Clan Vizsla. That was stolen from the Jedi Temple at the end of the Mandalorian Jedi Wars.
Would I know about this? Can I roll in game to see if I know about it in game?
Yeah.
This would be a lore check, right?
Yeah. 3 purple. Hard difficulty.
Okie doke.
Then, you take another 2 points of strain trying to rack your brain to recall where you've seen this from, but with the 2 successes...
I'm going to take a full 5 points of strain because of this and the frickin' vision.
Okay.
I feel like that just fits. I didn't think about it before, but I was going to suggest taking strain.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I go, the blade. It was a legendary blade. It was stolen just before the fall. We have to get on the trail of this astral joker. We need a mobile ship that will jump through many hyperspace lanes quickly and easily and efficiently. And I believe
Well, your shuttle is capable of getting you there.
Oh, to where?
To the last coordinates and stuff that are.
No, I meant for finding the master and the holocron, because I know that like this ship is good for like short range stuff, but I doubt it's good for long term travel because it would get expensive eventually.
Oh yeah, you'd have to stop every 2-3 days at somewhere inhabited to refuel and get some consumables.
All right, and I turn to the professor and I go, "Are you sure that you are comfortable staying in this place? I don't feel that it's very safe for you."
He would. He said, "Oh, I have no problem staying here as far as for my job." He says, "But at the same time, as far as for my job," he says, I want to go where these things lead. I want to see where they came from. I want to follow the trail as much as you do."
I turn to Kem and Andral and I say, "I believe that this man is of an honest persuasion, and I would like him to come with us if you are of a like mind."
Certainly, this type of knowledge is forbidden by the Imperials, and being in possession of it could put you in great danger. I say we take him with us.
Our master trusted him, so should we.
Agreed.
I say, "Well then, the only course of action is to take you with us."
Well, it'd take me 2 to 3 days to be ready to leave. I'd have to get permissions and such to go on this archaeological adventure. He says, I can't just up and leave. He says, I've made my life here.
Who would you need to talk to get permission? I can be very persuasive.
Is well, the proctor and my also the heads of my department.
Well, if you're keen to go and ask them now, I'm sure you'll find them very agreeable.
He says,
research after all.
He says, well, that's just it. He says, I don't see them denying it. It's just it would take 2 to 3 days for the paperwork to go through.
Well, perhaps we could fast track it. Trust me.
Yes, by all means. And he begins to gather the stuff up and put it back into this like clear box crate that would go back to the droid, because as he said earlier, you guys can't leave with any of this stuff, otherwise security will be called.
What's hard to try and give up this crystal?
As
precious.
starts to pack these things up, I'm looking at the crystal and I look at the boxes and I say, "You all head out without me. I'll stay here and I want to study these a bit further, see if I can't glean anything more."
Well, I'll go with the Jaw to speak to whoever he needs to speak to. Andra, perhaps you should stay and keep Carter company.
I believe I will.
I sense that longing in his eyes.
Yes. And I just say I believe I will. I don't think the proctor is exactly, is exactly.
I can get the proctor to grant instant access. Believe me. We'll just fudge the paperwork. It'll be fast tracked somehow.
I don't doubt
Carter company.
While they're doing that, I'm just gonna be like mulling the crystal over in my hands, thinking about the vision I saw, and just pinpointing stuff. But I wanna try and meditate with the crystal later. But now I wanna see Kem do his stuff first.
Cam. Just Cam.
Kem.
Well, yeah, well, Cam will be leaving with Azure to go and fast track his request to leave. So I'll be leaving you alone unless
No,
Andros
I meant me
staying
as
with
a
you.
person. I want to see you do your thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, Azure and Kim leave the archive, and it only takes a few minutes to go down the hallway and around a couple of turns, and you come to a small set of offices. Azure steps in, and he waves at an elderly man sitting behind a desk. Looks to be in his late 60s, early 70s. Very accredited looking. And he says, "Sir, I need permission to leave the university and to go investigate something that I've learned from some artifacts in the archive." And the gentleman looks at me and says, "Well, what artifacts and where would you be heading?"
At this point, Cam will step in and just say, "Excuse me, sir. Honestly, this is time sensitive, and it's of the utmost importance that we can leave now with minimum delay to our schedule. I'm sure you," and he'll kind of do his hand wave. He'll be like, "I'm sure you agree that the professor here should not be impeded in any way at all. Yes." And I'll give him a cheeky, "Come on, one time, light side. The force is dark with me today. What's wrong?" But I'm going to flip a point so I don't take another conflict.
Okay.
It hasn't flipped for some reason, so you might want to flip that.
It's lagging a little behind. It just flipped for me. So,
Okay.
all right, yeah. And he kind of looks at you. He says, "Well, time sensitive?" He says, "Well, like you." Yeah, he reaches in his desk, he pulls out a form, he reaches into another drawer and he pulls out a stamper and he stamps it and he says, "Yeah, all you need is the proctor's signature."
Excellent. We are much obliged, and we will be on our way. Thank you. And as we walk out the door, I'll just look at Azure and say, "Told you. Easy when you know how, huh?"
And Azure is looking at you with sort of this astounded awe sort of look. And
Again, I'll just give him a warm, kind of compassionate smile. I'm just like, yeah, that just kind of, just the most friendly, nicest person you'll ever see, kind of thing.
Hey, as you're walking, he says, I knew Satre for many years, since her and I were just children. He says, I always knew what she was, but seeing it in action, that's something different. And
I'll just say, yeah, well, power surrounds us. It's everywhere. You just got to know how to reach out and manipulate it. Our master taught as well.
That she did. And about 10 minutes later, you get back downstairs and you find the proctor, Gary, in his office. And roll me a perceptions check.
Oops.
Average difficulty.
Oh yeah, that'll do. That's two success in the threat.
All right. So, when the two of you walk in the room, the threat is you instantly begin to feel sort of nervous and get a point of strain as you can clearly see the look of disdain and distrust on his face when he sees Azur.
Proctor, we meet again.
He looks
And that
to
big
you.
warm smile.
He looks to you and he smiles, but you can see that it is a forced smile this time. And he says, yes, pleased to see you as well. He says, what can I do for the two of you?
We just need your stamp on this piece of paper. We're gonna off campus to conduct some research. It's time sensitive, so if you'd be so kind as to quickly stamp and let us be on our way, thank you very much.
Okay. And you can either attempt to use your power again, or you can make me a charm check with 1 purple and 2 red.
I'll be using the power. On time, come on.
I have the power, dear Lord.
Nothing but blacks all evening.
Alright.
When I'm playing my Dark Jedi, I never roll this many blacks.
You are certainly not on the light side of the Force, my friend.
Okay, I'll take a conflict for that one, Sean. The reason being that I know I'm lying to the guy, and I feel pretty bad about deceiving him because I'm actually an honest, decent guy. I feel bad about the fact that I'm having to try and deceive the guy.
Alright. If you'd like, go ahead and make another perceptions check at an average difficulty.
Okay. Oof.
Okay.
So caught up in trying to use my power on him that I failed to see something.
Carter is not with you today.
He takes the letter from you, the letterhead, the paper, and he goes ahead and stamps it. But you get this vague feeling of unease.
What, like in his reluctance to stamp it, or that he's up to something?
Sort of that he's up to something.
Okay.
You sort of get the feeling like he knows what you just did to him.
Oh. Okay. At which
And
point
you're-
I'll just, that big, friendly, trusting, warm smiles on my face, and I'll reach out to receive the form that he's about to give me back.
That is the bad.
He hands it back to you, and he again gives you that same sort of forced smile, and he says, "And you two gentlemen, please have a good day. I'll see you again when your dig is over."
It shouldn't take too long. We'll be back with all haste.
The two of you turn to leave, and you get about halfway back to the archive where you left Andral and Carter and Okoro, and you notice that there are 2 security guards that are deliberately they're not hiding the fact that they're following you, but they're keeping their distance.
Mm. Okay. Well, I'll just if I'm aware they're there, I'll just kind of ignore them and just continue walking back.
Yeah, I mean you're not positive that they're following you, but I mean, you know how I'm sure you've driven or walked just about anywhere and seen somebody that, well, hell, they've made the same turn I have twice now, and they're not getting any closer, they're not getting any further away. What the hell's going on? Sort of feeling. But you have that sort of feeling because I mean, like most people, you're looking around while you're walking, and you would notice.
Are there any doors, like any offices or anything en route?
Yes, there are different doors.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna look at, just try and an open. Do you want me to make a perception so you can see an open door? So I don't want to try and open a door and have it not open because that'd look weird. But if I can spy an open office or whatever, I'd like to kind of walk in.
Yeah, you don't have to make a roll. You can see that there's a couple of doors on this hallway that aren't closed and latched all the way.
Okay, I'll just say to Ajor, may I have a moment? And just lead them into one of these rooms.
He kind of gives you a look, but he follows you in. And the two guards, as you walk in, they continue on past the door.
Okay. I'll just wait 30 seconds and then kind of poke my head out the door and see where they are.
Alright, you look out and go ahead and make me a perceptions check now.
Okay, I'll just say to Ajor, I had a distinct feeling those two were following us, so forgive my sudden detour into here. Perception, yeah?
Yeah, perception, average difficulty again.
God blimey. Fail and
Your eyeballs don't work.
Alright.
I'm telling you, man, this dice roller sucks.
Oh, don't worry, it hates me too when I'm a
I
player.
prefer the old one.
The old one rolled great for you.
Yeah, man.
But you look back out into the hallway, and you don't see them. It looks as if they've continued on up around the corner.
Okay. The advantage being that if anyone was looking back, they wouldn't have seen my head quickly dart out of the door. Because that would look suspicious as all hell, but yeah, no. So if anyone is watching, they don't see that.
Okay.
And I'll just say to Ajor, okay, it looks like the coast's clear. Let's get back to my companions. And we'll start making our way towards the archives again.
Okay, and screen wipes, and it comes back, and you guys are all standing there in the archive. And the box has been put up and returned, and it's just Andral and Carter standing there as you guys come walking into the archive.
Everything okay?
Azur, he would look at you and he'd say, yeah.
Oh, sorry, we're back. Sorry, I thought you said Scream. I thought we were still on our way. Have we just arrived back, have we?
Yeah, you just arrived
okay,
back
sorry.
there.
When I hear Andral say that, I go, huh? What?
I'll address them and say, guys, the proctor, there was something odd about him, and even though I tried to influence him, I got a feeling of suspicion or distrust or cunning. I think we should leave here with haste. We might have outstayed our welcome.
I look at the professor. Quickly, grab anything you might need, and I say, but before you do that, how exactly do the droids detect things leaving?
He says, well, they're clear cases, so they know what's in every case. Every case is marked with an identification number. I mean, They've got the contents programmed into them.
I look at the crystal, and my heart is rending. And I go into the room where the case is supposed to be, and I say, I'll put it back. Ow!
Okay, so you walk up to because the case had already been returned, so you would walk up to like the window and be like, oh hey, I forgot this, and set it in the sort of two-way slide box.
Oh
sort
no,
of thing.
I'm just trying to get away from the group at this
Oh.
exact moment.
Okay.
And what part of the talisman did I touch that it activated the vision?
The actual talisman, like not the chain that goes around your neck, but the actual pendant.
Okay. I am going to flip a point and say that I have a little stone in my pocket that I can put on the string, and I take the talisman off of the string.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, I'll allow you to swap it out, and I mean it's not an identical match, but it's close enough to so at a cursory glance as the droid is taking the box in, they would see all 4 items.
I'm such a bad Jedi.
And you are going to take a conflict for that one. I mean, you are stealing.
I'm not gonna argue that. I'm straight up stealing. But you know, it's an artifact. It has the Jedi spirit in it, from what I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Do we notice him stealing this?
No, I walked away for this
Yeah, I
specific.
was gonna say he walked away from where you guys were at to do it. So.
Great. I'm just waiting for the alarms to go off.
God.
But yeah, you swap the stone portion out. You're able to sort of get it popped out of the metal wrapping that's around it, and able to shove this other stone back into it, so that all you've got is the actual stone.
Fantastic.
And then you would go and walk up to the window where the droids were and be like, oh hey, I forgot to put this back and this and that. It was from container 64AB3 or whatever, and the droid in the typical droid voice sort of, oh, thank you, and he'd open the box and take it out of the slide through and turn around and totter off into the shelving that's behind the window.
Okay. I walk back, and the stone is concealed in my robe now, visibly looking anxious. And I say, is the professor ready to leave yet?
He tells you, he says, I just got to stop by my office and grab a couple of things, and we'll be ready to go.
We'll be waiting for you at the ship. Please make haste.
Okay, and we get a screen wipe, and we come back to the 4 of you on the ship, and Azur has not made it back yet.
Damn it.
You expect him to be back within just moments, but he's not here yet. But you do notice that in the few moments that you've been here at the ship, that the security presence and the Imperial presence precisely have nearly doubled here at this portion of the spaceport.
Do we seem to be specifically under anyone's surveillance, or is it just more troopers patrolling, heightened sense of alert, that sort of thing?
Make me a hard perceptions check.
Okay.
We all do that?
Yeah, you can all make the roll.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Fail. And a
My
threat.
my brain balls need.
Point of strain for you, Alan.
Oh, come on.
Okay,
Two strain for
obviously
Scott. And
I don't
Obviously,
see
Carter-
anything.
has to save everybody
Oh, yeah,
here.
Again.
So,
Oh, my lord.
fuck!
and 2 strain for Carter.
I'm about to
We're
fall
all
unconscious.
with the pressure.
You're not aware of any of them paying you extra attention, but it's odd that security would have doubled in just the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, the sheer number of them is kind of setting alarm bells or
Right.
nerves on edge.
Mm-hmm.
And you would notice the sort of deck crew, the guys that are running around different ships, fueling ships and this and that. You'd notice quite a few of them all sort of putting a hand up to an ear, and they would be, as soon as they're done doing that, they would be going to the different ships around the spaceport. And let's see, make me see if you know what they're doing. Make me either mechanics or computers check. Anyone can do it. Of 1 red, 1 purple.
Nice.
Okay. Carter, you would recognize as to what they're doing. I mean, they've obviously just received comm for something, but you see these ground crew going around to these different ships and typing into these computer terminals that are at each landing pad, and you would recognize that they are locking ships down.
I immediately, upon recognizing this, go, Kim,
Mm-hmm.
do you think you'd be able to assuage the engineers to overlook our ship? If not, I fear we may have to leave without the professor.
Well, I can certainly try, but I'm getting a real bad feeling about this. We should be leaving soon, regardless whether he makes it or not. But I can try and buy us a few more minutes.
We'll give him 5 more minutes.
Okay. At which point, is there like a ramp or something that leads out of the ship?
Yeah, it's just sort of like a small personal jet sort of thing of today. Like the hatch folds down and open, and it is like a set of stairs going down.
Cool. Well, I'll make my way out and go and like stand near the control panel that would lock the ship down. So just wait for someone to come up to it, basically.
All right, yeah. A team of 3 guys come your way, and one of them breaks off and comes right up to the terminal that you're at. And he says, well, how's it going today? He says, unfortunately, we've just been put on lockdown. He says, I've been ordered to lock down all the vessels so that they could be searched.
Good day to you, sir. And I'll give him a most winning smile. And just be like, searched? Why would people be searched?
He says, oh, it happens randomly. Somebody's made someone suspicious, or they've tried to get out of the university or something with something they shouldn't have. And
Oh my.
he begins to reach out to start typing on the pedestal.
I'll interrupt them at this point and like say, I know you're just doing your job and you seem very busy because there are a lot of ships here. Why don't you proceed to go and lock down the other ones and come back to us in a minute? The wave of the hand. Actually, no. I'm going to try and make a negotiation check. Would you accept negotiation? Like if I butter him up with like, I can see that you're so busy. There are so many ships to lock down. Why don't you, it'd be better to go and take care of some of those big ones with guns on it first, surely. I think I saw some suspicious university types heading onto
Yeah.
over yonder.
You could try and negotiate him into going on to the next guy. Hard. 3 purple.
All right, come on.
Oh no!
Oh boy.
All right, he fail. You fail at getting him to go on to the next terminal. He looks at you. He says, "I'm sorry." He says, "I gotta follow orders, and you're the next ship in line." He says, "So I've got to lock you down."
I respect that. So my advantages are A, I recover 2 points of strain, and but the other advantage is he hasn't actually. He's still addressing me. He hasn't, although he's just said that I've got to do you guys next. He hasn't actually started typing yet.
Yeah, no, he hasn't actually started typing yet.
Okay. In which case, I'm gonna say I'll kind of like put my arm around him in like a conspiratorial way and say, seriously, I think the guys you were looking for are over yonder, and then I will give him the hand.
Okay.
Bad Jedi! Oh my lord!
It's for a good cause.
Oh
shit!
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
The dark side is strong in me.
Oh.
I'm feeling bad for having to try and like lie and deceive people.
I'll let you spend a light side to change it over to where it works. But either way, you are going to take a conflict from it because you know you're just flat out lying to this guy.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Not only are you lying, you're getting somebody in trouble.
Says the man who just stole something, and that's why we're all getting locked
You know
down.
nothing about that.
Yeah, I know nothing. I do, and I'm telling you, young Aaron. But, yeah, this is why I'm having to lie. But of course, my character doesn't know this. So yeah, but I feel terrible. I feel absolutely rotten to my core for lying so much. It's the worst day of my life. But yeah. I'll flip the
And the guy, he looks at you. He's all right. He says, "Okay, cool." He says, "I'll relay that message." He says, "But I have to at least make it look like I'm locking you down."
Yeah,
So he turns around to the pedestal and he makes all the movements that he would, but he's not actually pressing down on any of the keys or anything on the pedestal. And he says, "There you go." He says, "And thanks for the information." And he turns around and walks away. And you see as he's walking away, he's making a very quick sort of beeline for a group of troopers.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna run back up the stairs and just say, guys, we've got to go. It's now or never. They're looking for somebody who stole something from the university. Since we've been there and the professor's supposed to be bringing some relics with us, perhaps. I don't know. It stinks too much that it could be us they're looking for. I think Professor will know we've got to leave, otherwise we're getting locked down. He's heading over to some troopers right now.
Do we see the professor? Oh wait, we have comms, right?
Yes, you have comm links.
And we've got his number as well.
And you've got his number.
I hail the professor, saying, "Where are you? We need you to be on board right now."
And you get no answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's time to leave, gentlemen.
Agreed. I'll give Carter kind of an interesting look as I say, yeah, maybe the professor was detained because he was trying to bring something out of the university.
Don't sass me, boy.
No, all right. All right, let's fire it up.
Yeah, I initiate the sequence to launch and just do like, computer, get us out of here. I'm sorry, Professor.
All right, so your ship powers up, and the hatch seals, and it lifts off of the pad, and you begin to make your ascent into the miasmic cloud of industrial waste that is in the air, and as you're ascending, your ship suddenly jolts and rocks, Make athletic checks,
Oh,
all of you,
God.
please.
Okay.
Against average?
Yes, average difficulty.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay. Kem manages to keep himself standing or seated, whichever he is,
He's
without
seated and he's
without
brooding.
being knocked to the ground, as does Carter.
All right. Well, here's the guy with the skill.
But
Can I threat?
he,
There we go.
the threat
Finally,
is that
success.
the threat is that
Something
you
comes
whack your
falling out of
head
his
and are a bit dizzy, both of you.
All right.
As the ship bucks and rocks, you sort of slam your heads off of overhead compartments or whatnot. It just kind of knocks you a little dizzy and stupid for a moment.
Maybe we're standing next to each other and we actually slam heads by accident.
It works too.
All right.
But when this happens, the droid that is piloting your shuttle comes over your comm and says, "We are being fired upon."
Take evasive action.
And you can feel the ship begin to sway and move as he's zipping through the sky up into orbit. And minutes later, you feel the sort of typical stomach churn as you jump into hyperspace. And we get a screen wipe again.
Just for a frame of reference, if Kem was looking when we bonked heads, he saw me reflexively like grab at a part on my cloak.
No, I don't want to see that. Kem's brooding. He's actually like
Oh, okay.
he's facing inwards because he's really kind of disgusted with himself from today, and he can't believe that. Like he's had all these negative feelings and emotions going through him, and he knows that's not what Master Sartre taught us. So he wasn't paying attention. He was, he kind of snapped out of it when the ship came under fire. But he's just been, he's facing inwards. He's reflecting, and he's not happy.
Okay. Well, shortly after, to kind of tell you guys what goes on between the screen wiping and opening again here in just a moment. The ship jumps to hyperspace and then drops out just moments later, the next system over type of thing. Carter goes up and tells the piloting droid, gives him the information that they were able to acquire from the other artifacts and stuff before they turned them in from the transponder, and gives him the hyperspace route and lane to where this ship is supposed to have been left, where this stuff was supposedly found.
Cool.
And our screen opens back up to the Kohler system, a system on the edge of the deep core that contains an ancient red supergiant slowly shedding its atmosphere. A few rocky planets, most likely from the size of them, gas giants that are in unstable orbits around this supergiant sun. An asteroid field of debris circles the sun as well. And inside this asteroid field and is mixed in a hodgepodge of different debris types, whether it be from small to large asteroids and dirt and dust to ship parts and even some whole ships or nearly whole ships. floating around in this wreckage. The shuttle makes its way through the asteroid field, slow and deliberate, and it comes across a ship, well, sort of reminiscent of a Corvette, but much, 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 much older and much earlier in design. Whereas your Corvette, the standard Corellian Corvette has sort of a barrel-shaped nose that's where the barrel shape is on its side. Well, this one, it's instead of being rounded and barrel-shaped, it's more like a long crate and turned upward compared to the rest of the ship and where its engines are.
Okay.
So this ship is just ancient, old, and it's torn in half. Like the top section of the nose, where the cockpit and stuff would be, or where the bridge would be, has been shorn off, and one whole, like the right whole side of the ship, has been sheared off, exposing all of the inner decks. And like as the shuttle flies up, it does this sort of circular pattern around it, and you can see airlocks and such that lead from these different exposed rooms further into the ship. On one side of the ship that is still intact, you see the word sanctuary written on it. And as the shuttle flies around it, you can see what looks like a still intact docking ring.
Are we getting any signals from this ship?
No, there's doesn't look like there's any power on the ship. I mean, everything's black.
Did Carter mention the name of the ship in the did he mention that word from his vision?
No, the astral. Wait, hold on.
No,
Astral Jester.
the Astral Jester was the name of the ship that the
was from the
artifacts were confiscated from.
Yeah, that was the transponder.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Sanctuary.
But no,
Wait,
this
she didn't Isa say the word sanctuary?
That's what I thought, but I don't want to do that in character. Unless we were talking about it on the journey here or something. I don't know.
I'm asking you, Sean.
I'm looking back through what.
Yeah, I could have sworn I heard that word during the vision sequence, but yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then.
She says when she's talking to the assuming students of hers, she says, "Go, I'll hold them here. You can still escape in the sanctuary's shuttle."
All right, when this comes into view, I whisper under my breath. The young. That was the ship. That was the ship she sent the younglings on.
This was Issa or Isa?
Yes, Mistress Isa.
Hmm.
And I say, what? Do you have a name for the piloting droid, or?
Whatever you want to call them. he's like fastened to the ship. Like there's a track that runs around the cockpit that he slides around in the track on.
Okay.
I say P1LOL0T. Can you dock us with the ship?
Making arrangements for docking. And moments later, the ship or the shuttle lines up along next to the ship, and you feel the rock and vibration through the hull of the ship as it makes seal with the other with the sanctuary. And you hear over the comm, seal has been made. There is
everybody take a moment of respite.
There is still atmosphere on this on the sanctuary, but it is minimal.
And bring the scrubbers. I go to my is there rooms on this thing?
No, it's just like a quick passenger ferry sort of yacht type of deal. It doesn't have quarters or anything. It has like a communal quarter and like a communal bathroom and kitchen and all that.
Okay. I'm going to just take a moment to meditate. And now that my sword is no longer being used as a decoy, I'm going to be using it to be a focal point for the meditation.
Okay.
I'm trying to regain some, if that's possible.
Trying to regain some strain.
Yeah.
Well, you guys could go all the way back up to full on your strain.
Oh.
Because I mean, this is between screen wipes and all this. This has been approximately about a week.
Oh, okay. Like, because I was at one strain, I was about to start like going into maniacal, cackling laughter, just completely off the hinge.
Yeah, you guys would be back to full on everything. I mean, it's been days.
Gotcha. Okay.
Since you left Eridu.
Okay. And I get the gas mask on. Not the gas mask, the rebreather. It's a rebreather, right?
No, it was just an air scrubber.
Oh. Would that help in this situation?
Well, it would help clean out any impurities that might be in the however old stale really air it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would make it'd make it taste better, but it wouldn't add any oxygen to it.
That's still better, probably.
Might as well, yeah.
I put the face mask on, and I push the button to open the hatch.
Alright, so you open the hatch and you step off of the shuttle and onto the sanctuary. And it's like stepping into a nightmare. I mean, it's narrow corridors of a shuttle or of a ship, and it's almost pitch black. Like the only light that's coming through is the light from your shuttle and from the periodic hatches that come off of the right side of the ship that is letting in this red sort of glow that comes from the supergiant sun that is nearby. So where the light does come through in these little hatch windows, it just comes through in sort of like red rays that lead across the the hallway, and there's dust and dirt floating in the air. I'd like everybody to make a discipline check
Oh boy.
of hard. 3 purple.
For crying out loud.
Oh boy. Here. Oh,
Look
I
at
make
him
a-
rubbing his hands together. Look at him.
Could I make a leadership check to help with this? Because I do have leadership.
You could do leadership, but it's not really going to help you. That would add a bonus to their rolls.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
So, yeah, if I'm not going to make you roll for it. I'll say you use your leadership skills, and Chem and Andral can re-roll and add a boost to your rolls.
Okay, well, I've also got leadership of 4 green, so could I return the favor to Carter?
Yes, so all of you can re-roll, still 3 purple, but you get 1 boost die.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I didn't fail.
I didn't fail
Oh,
either.
I sucked even harder than
Oh
before.
God!
Got 2 yellows. Like,
You're just like nope.
Okay.
Save them
So-
for the next
Neutral.
game.
Andral gets off, and he's sort of indifferent. I mean, it's dark. Okay, big deal. There's still dim light coming through. I can see where I'm putting my feet. I'm good. Carter gets off onto this sanctuary, and you're nervous. You anticipation of what you could find here due to the vision you suffered earlier. So you take a strain.
All right.
Chem, on the other hand, is feeling a bit claustrophobic, and you take a point of strain. But he's feeling claustrophobic. I mean, the 3 of you crammed into this just almost pitch black hallway, and he's on the verge of shaking. He is with how scared he actually is of this.
Yeah, I'm white knuckling me sword. I've like got it in my hand, and I'm like squeezing the hilt so tight my knuckles are white.
I was about to say your sabers. Use them.
Yeah.
as light.
That's what I was going to do too. I'll ignite my saber. I'll sort of take the lead, I guess. I
You got a
kind of have it.
lightsaber?
Yeah, I stole your idea. You mentioned well, no, not a saber, but with the training emitter.
Oh, no, mine's an ancient sword.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's no light to it.
I've got a hilt with a training emitter.
Okoro has the other training.
That was it.
Training
Okay.
saber.
Yep. So
They do stun damage.
yeah, right, exactly, and not a lot of it, but at least you get to use your lightsaber skills. So
Yeah. It's a good idea for a light. I like
Yeah.
it.
So I'll ignite that, and he kind of takes a couple of steps in, and just notices that kind of nobody's following him. Just it kind of looks back. And,
Well, I'm following.
okay.
Yeah,
Tim's not following.
I'm
admit-
like sweating and stuff. You'll see sweat on my head. Like
Yes.
kind of like in Top Gun, he's like, talk to me, Goose. He's like freaking out,
Yeah.
Kim, look.
Yeah, you're emitting light approximately 5-6 feet in front and behind you from your training saber
Okay.
of whatever color your saber is.
All right. What color is your saber? I'll just say that it looks like the one in the picture.
All right, so
So it's sort of
there's-
yellowish.
there's sort of this yellowish orange light that is being emitted, and it's mixing with the red light from the sun. So
Okay.
It lights things up, but it still adds to the eeriness of it.
Great.
So it's not soothing at all.
Well, at least now you can see where you're walking.
I grab Kim's shoulders and I say, "We can do this. You're going to be okay."
All right, and
Wait. Okay, I'm just gonna like take a deep breath and try and like focus and grab some force or whatever, just to try and calm myself and remember my lessons that have been taught on how to stay calm and in the zone, in the moment.
More dark side.
Yeah.
You're just
bringing me
filled
to all
with
the worst
hatred for
places.
this stupid ship.
Yeah.
as you head into the ship and you come to an area that you're familiar with its sort of setup. It looks to be like a weapons battery area. So I mean, it's where your laser fire for like a big turbo laser would come from. It's a big generator type of room. It's something you would recognize because the Corvette has one. There is a sealed hatchway that leads further into the forward section of the ship. But when you look through the little window on the door where the red light is coming through, you can see it leads into a room that is full of computer terminals, but the ceiling to this room is missing and it's open to space. So this hatch is the only thing between you and vacuum at this point. There is another hatch that leads further into the ship. You guys head further down through hallways, around a corner, and I would like each of you to make a perceptions check, please.
Oh, we're great at that.
Average difficulty.
We haven't failed a single one of those. Winkety wink wink.
What do you want, a perception, is it?
Yes, please.
Oh, come on. This is...
At least I didn't fail.
Wow.
I didn't succeed either.
All right. Well, I got a couple of advantage. I don't know what that's going to do, but
All right.
recover. So
No one quite hears it distinctly, but Andraw does sort of faintly feel more than hears a sort of rhythmic vibration in the hallway. Sort of like it's reverberating through the ship, sort of a that sort of rhythm. And as you continue down this central corridor that's running down the length,
well, actually, if I'm kind of perceiving that, I'll just stop for like half a second, and since I failed the roll, they're going to be like, what? And I'm going to kind of go, not sure, and and then we'll keep going. But yeah.
I pull my sword to draw.
All right, but you guys continue down through this main corridor, and you can. Every now and then there's a door on the left-hand side as you're heading down this hallway that leads out to just vacuum, where the door is the only thing sealing off vacuum. And on the right, you've passed a couple of doors. Like one of them led to what looked like possibly a cargo bay. Another one that you passed by looks like it belonged to some type of like cruise quarters. It was kind of reminiscent of a bunkhouse. I mean, there's multiple what looked like probably beds at one point in time. But as you move through the ship, I mean, Andral, you can still feel this sort of rhythmic thumping or thrumming through the ship. It never really gets strong, but it never really gets any weaker.
Okay. I'll mention that. I'll just mention that there's some kind of. It's almost like a vibration. It's rhythmic, but it doesn't seem to be getting stronger as we go through the ship. I don't understand what it is.
It may be the core of the ship's power. I mean, there would need to be something left for it to generate this oxygen and keep the...
True, but if it's not getting... We're heading back toward... We're heading from the front to the back, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But it's not getting any stronger as we're getting back toward the engines. I don't know. Let's just be really cautious.
Indeed.
Does it feel like rhythmic foot stomps, like footsteps? Like of something heavy and mechanical? Could it be that? For some reason, I've got a really bad feeling there's some sort of security droid or something on here.
I'll describe it just exactly as Sean kind of described it to me, just kind of zoom, 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 like that.
Wow, got a bad feeling about this.
Go ahead and all of you make me another perceptions check.
Okay.
Again, same difficulty.
Standard or was it difficult?
Just average.
Hey!
Why
I'm really
can't
not happy about being on this ship.
Carter saved the day.
Well, Carter saves the day in the factor that just for some reason he decides to look backwards in the way they've come.
Oh shit!
And
Okay, so is it an alien or a predator?
you're at a straight stretch in this hallway that you've been leading down for a minute or so, and you can see faintly through the redded lighting that lights through the hallway. You can see this large silhouette that takes up the majority of this hallway. I mean, it's almost as wide as the hallway and maybe just a foot or so shorter than the height of the hallway.
Well, that's not what...
And you all hear this mechanical sort of growl. So, I mean, it sounds like a growl that's got like this metallic tick in along with it.
Should have brought the basilisk controls.
Oh, crap.
And all of a sudden, this rhythmic thrumming that was being heard turns into... and the silhouette begins to make its way quickly down this hallway in your direction.
So it's behind us?
It was, yes.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so there's two threats.
So yeah, you roll two threats. And,
so that becomes strain when I turn around and see what it is, because I'm already freaking out and I'm really scared now.
Yeah. And the same
Carter.
for Carter. He gets a strain.
Can I use the advantage to notice a handy door on the right-hand side, i.e. the non-space side?
Well, you actually notice that just ahead of you is a hatchway that is open at the end of this hallway.
Yep, jump
Quick!
through that.
And is that the way you guys are going to go?
Uh-huh.
I think that's...
If it's the choice between the open hatch and the big thing behind us, yeah, I'm going towards that.
Let's fight the basilisk. Come on!
All right.
You do
Strain
realize
involved.
we are not a combat
Yeah,
party.
I know exactly what... No, Andrel's enthusiastic, so he's like, hey guys, there's a doorway back there, but let's go fight him. No.
I grab his collar. No!
No, he knows. He notices the doorway and says, "Quick!" And he'll dart through the hatchway and kind of get ready to slam it when the other two guys get through.
All right. Well,
As we're running, I say under my breath, "I should have brought the controls."
just to make things a little bit worse on you guys,
Couldn't get any.
Worse.
I'm going to let you know that as you're running towards this open hatchway, you can all feel the vibrations of this big lumbering thing that's charging down the hallway at you. But you also sort of feel the ship rock and hear the familiar sound of an explosion that comes from outside of the ship.
No.
Oh,
No.
shit.
There goes our ship.
No. No.
Maroon.
Just to make things a little bit worse, as soon as you get to this hatch that's opened at the end of the hallway, and you run through, Carter would freeze, and the two of you would see three ancient sets of bones and armor on the ground that match the helmet that was in the cache of artifacts. And there is also another body laid in the middle of them that is just bones with remnants of fabric stretched out upon it. And Carter would know that this is Master Issel's body and the three Mandalorians that she cut down before dying herself. But the plus is there's a lightsaber hilt laying on the ground.
While this is happening and I see it in front of me, the intense thrumming drum of war that the basilisk portends behind us becomes a distant thump to me as my own heart goes.
Okay.
And under my breath I say, "Close the hatch." And I just start walking towards the bones.
Actually,
Oh, wait,
I want you to make me a discipline check.
Okay.
That is 2 purple, 1 red.
Oh God.
Well, and the red only comes from the fact that you're the one who had the vision. Otherwise, it'd just be 3 purple.
Of course. 2 purple, 1 red. I'm gonna use a light side point.
Okay.
Hurt. Oh, baby.
Okay.
Oh.
So you succeed in not being frozen stiff and still. You do pick up 3 points of strain, and as part of the triumph, I'll let you add to it. But as part of the triumph, I'm going to say that the hatchway isn't destroyed like it was originally supposed to be.
Oh, yeah. But along with that, man, I don't even know what to do with this triumph. I'm just. Oh.
The lightsaber still works.
Well, that's not. I guess, but I just literally thought of something, and you can totally go with that one or with this, because I mean the lightsaber's missing its crystal, isn't it? Winkety wink wink.
He just said he just whispered that it still works.
Oh, it does?
Well, no, I was whispering that as what you use the triumph
as
to
it,
be.
I was
okay,
going
got
to
it. Gotcha. Yeah,
suggest,
okay.
I see a familiar pyramidal structure on the ground. It's the remote control.
Oh,
Oh.
that's interesting because like that could have been like a remote control, but maybe this one is the remote control. But do you know how to use it?
Okay. I'll say you find you notice amongst a pile of like the debris that's scattered around the room. You do notice another familiar sort of half pyramid shape that is another basilisk control module.
Along with this, I pick up the hilt, and I probably am gonna be the one to figure out how the frickin' remote works too. But I turn it over in my hands, and I say to them as my hands drop down to my sides, close the hatch.
Well, I'm waiting for Kem to get in.
Well, I
'Cause we-
imagine I would have been in there with you guys. I wasn't hanging back.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys have all made it in, and I mean all this happens in just a matter of seconds.
Okay. All right.
And the droid, the big basilisk droid, is still plowing down the hallway,
All right.
and it is closer. It's probably 20 feet from the hatch at the moment, and you can see that this thing is just a hodgepodge of different parts, as if it's been repairing itself over the generations.
I'll close the hatch.
All right, you close the hatch, and this thing, I mean, just as soon as you get the hatch closed and get the lock set,
Yeah.
the door and wall vibrate so hard that like it knocks you off your feet as this droid slams into the door, into the hatchway. And seconds later, boom! Again, boom! As it's slamming itself against the hatch.
I look at the pyramid. Do I see anything that looks like a big red button?
No.
Damn it.
It's not like a remote control that you would turn it off with or guide it around the room with.
What is
Okay,
it?
even though Ken's like absolutely freaking out, he'll kind of like with a shaking hand reach into his utility belt and pull out the restraining bolt that he's got. And he's like,
Nice.
I'll say with how well of a roll you made earlier when you were inspecting this,
Which
you
was
would
pretty
know
darn
that
good.
you would know that these control modules are basically a temper modulator for these things.
I'm
Because-
going to set it to calm.
Because these basilisks are semi-sentient.
Uh-huh.
It's basically if you were to put this thing where it belongs on the droid, if this one is missing its module, it would become a docile sort of being, at least towards you or maybe possibly the three of you.
Well, crap.
But
So-
you would first have to be able to get to it to do it.
Yeah,
or
that's,
let
that,
it
that,
in,
that's
or
the problem.
it's gonna bust in
that
here
I
in a second
realized.
anyway. Yeah.
But there's walkways that lead around this room and up and into like office type or into like different rooms that are off of a different level. Here in this it's like a 30 by 40 oval room that is probably 40 meters with a domed ceiling. So you guys have got a little bit of time to sort of search around in here, but at the same time, as you're hearing the crashing of this droid slamming into the hatch, you can faintly hear a sort of a thump, and then coming from the ceiling.
Of course.
I'll look up. Can I see any cracks in the ceiling forming?
No, it's not like a cracking sound. It's more of like the sound of metal on metal, like something either struck the hull of the ship, or something has just landed on the hull of the ship.
Are any of the Mandalorians armed?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna pick up the biggest flippin' gun I can see.
All right. It'd be equivalent of a modern blaster rifle.
Okay, and I'm hoping that because Mandalorians maintain their weapons really well, that it actually works after all this time. But
I say to everybody, you said that there were walkways that are upstairs, right?
Yeah, there's stairways that lead up to. They're kind of like a catwalk type of deal that lead around the edges of the room, and
Oh, that's exactly what I was hoping for.
it leads off into other parts of the ship from up there.
I say to them, and I put the lightsaber hilt in the same pocket as the crystal. While doing that, I say quickly, we must ascend. I want to grab a small piece of bone from Issa.
Okay. You would also notice in the center of the room the stone dais from your
We will deal with that later. I'm super excited about it, but there is a giant freaking lizard droid trying to eat us. And I take note of it, and I put my hand on my pocket and I whisper under my breath, "Soon." No.
All right, so you guys ascend the walkways, and when you get up to this walkway, it's about halfway up the room. You can see that there is another hatch on the right side of the ship and the left side of the back of the, leading further back into the ship.
Okay.
And I say to them, we can attempt to keep running, but we may be able to, and I pull the pyramid out, get the basilisk to be docile towards us. Which, whatever is coming in, and believe me, there's something else that's coming.
Yeah.
We may be able to get it to help us against them.
That sounds like a plan.
Andral says, if you can set it, I might be able to get. If you could tell me where it goes, I might be able to get it on there.
I'm assuming this, Sean, but you can tell me whether or not I would know in game. It's at the point between their shoulder blades and right behind their neck, right?
Out of character, yes. In character, you would have to roll to know that.
Okay, what do I roll?
Does it help that I just kind of intuited that I thought that would where it be kind of where, because if you were sitting on it, no, anyway.
I'd say make an outer rim check. Because I mean these things are, I mean, or were.
Would my lore not work for this?
We've got probably about another half hour or so.
Okay.
Lore could work for it.
Okay.
Go ahead and use lore.
Difficulty?
3 purple.
Okay, boom. A.
Well, no, sorry,
Oh.
4, because I mean this thing, basilisk droids haven't been around for thousands of years.
Okay. Boop. Shit.
All right. You wouldn't know exactly where it goes, but you would, like we said, it would sort of have the idea that it would obviously be somewhere probably easily accessible to its
All right.
rider
I say
or its
look.
handler.
I say look for a shape where the handler could easily get to, and you said that you could probably get it in.
I could give it a shot.
Okay, I toss you the pyramid and wait.
Now,
Do I
have you
know if the-
have you set it
Yeah.
to puppy?
Okay, I can set it to calm, right?
It's it's not really something you set.
Okay,
It's
so
more like it makes the thing
Oh, it just does it.
commandable
Okay.
type of thing.
Okay.
But about this time, you guys are all standing around trying to figure this out. The basilisk finally makes it through the door. But at the same time that it makes it through the door, a chunk of the ceiling falls in. And 2 droids drop in, and you see Proctor Gari in battle armor drop in on a little like repulsor type of, not quite a jetpack, but something that would stop him from falling and getting hurt type of repulsor pack. And you recognize this stuff that he's wearing as the ISB agent's uniform.
Okay.
And just because this is running a little longer than what I had planned, and I don't want to have to lose anybody else and miss the ending.
Cliffhanger.
We're not going to go cliffhanger, but I want you to. This is completely not anything as far as standard goes with the rule set, but you're trying to control the droid, correct?
Yeah, I was going to use my. I have a horizontal force leap ability, and I was going to try and make the leap onto the.
Well, just for the sake of story, we'll say you make the leap. I mean, this thing comes in, the ISB agent Gari drops down. You've got this thing in your hand, and you leap out, and you make the leap onto the droid. It begins to sort of wild animal buck and rock and all this, while the 2 droids and the ISB agent go up after Carter and Cam. Make me a just roll a percentile die, the 100, and if it's above 50, you manage to get the thing in.
Oh God!
Nope.
All right, so you reach down. I mean, you find the port where it goes, and you see that it's got one in it already, but you see that the one that's in it is cracked. You get it out, and just as you're about ready to slide the other one in, this thing bucks, and its head slams into your hand and knocks the control disc out of your hand, and it goes bouncing across the floor. But
does that have any effect on it? Like, is it gonna maybe go after something else?
You also sort of like it when it knocks the thing out of your hand. It takes off running through the place. It's bucking and all that stuff. It eventually knocks you off of it.
Okay.
And miraculously, it ignores you. and it goes after these other droids that are standing on the main floor of this place, shooting up at the other two up on the landing, while the ISB agent is actually running up towards them.
Probably
taking
looking
the
to
steps up
cannibalize
towards
them or something. Okay, all right.
And it goes over and smashes into them and tears them to shreds. And
So while it's doing that, can I try and recover the other unit, the unit that we had, or it's?
yeah, you can do that. And I'll even say that you attempt to do it again. Roll me another 100-sided.
Oh God!
Okay.
Come on, dude.
Oh, jeez, just that 1%.
Come on!
1%.
I am rubbish at this.
No.
Yeah, you again 49%. You missed it by 1%. Yeah.
So
Again,
disappointing, Andral.
You try to slip this thing in while he's occupied with these other
Can I flip a
droids.
destiny thing or something to modify the roll?
It's 1%.
Yeah, you flip a destiny point, and you actually manage to get this thing into it.
There.
On your third attempt, after it finally destroys the second droid that came
Okay.
through.
All right.
And you get this thing in, and it automatically goes docile.
Well, now what do we do with it?
Kim and Carter are trying to fend off this ISB agent. Kim is miraculously, the Force is finally with him, and he's batting aside blaster shot after blaster shot that comes from this ISB agent. And Carter mans up, and he takes a no conflict or anything for this, because this ISB agent is clearly trying to kill you guys. And he force uses, whether this is one of your abilities or not, it's cinematic and I'm doing it. You force leap over Chem and do this little flip dealy and activate the lightsaber, which is sort of a pale blue in color, and slice the ISB agent. You cut his arm right off, and in a second swipe with the blade, slice right across his chest, and he falls over the railing down to the main floor, dead.
That's freaking bad. If only it was raining, it would be perfect.
You manage to get the holocron out of the floor safe, and you manage to go back and figure out that the explosion that happened was your shuttle being destroyed.
Yep.
And you manage to figure out a way to get everybody up to the ISB agent's shuttle, which is a profile for this. Damn it, what is it? I think it's a Starhound. I don't remember for
That
sure
sounds
though.
awesome.
I'll have it all looked up and perfect for you next time, with having to get through this so everybody's here that can be here, unfortunately, for the ending. But you make it into this other shuttle, and you make it off of the sanctuary with the holocron in tow. Unfortunately, the Basilisk droid is unable to fit in this ship or get up to it. But you make it up there. You make it off the ship, the four of you, safe and sound. Minor bumps and bruises from the getting flung around by the droid and batting around blaster bolts and stuff up on the catwalk. and it ends just as the hollow communicator opens up. Just as you start to see a blue form being emitted from the hollow transmitter, our screen goes black. That is the end of tonight's session.
No.
I'm so very sorry for everybody for having to be rushed through the end, and
That's okay.
It's my bad. I'm sorry,
it's all good. It went longer than what I had planned as well, but that's our ending, everybody. Thanks for watching. Tune in again soon to catch the second episode of our trilogy here on the GM's Dice. Please check us out.